Get ready to move your noodly appendages.
Hello, Overlord. Thank you for the CPs and stretchies. Stretchy up. Stretchy back. Stretchy to the right. And up. Stretchy to the left. And up. Good morning, Clover. I hope you're doing well. Well enough. I picked up some low dosage cough suppressants, and it helps. Mix it up. And they're supposed to be gone for an hour. Med check? Okay. I'll go check my meds. It's in the other room. Also, I picked 6 books, rolled a d6, and the one it landed on was 4, so today, after Reddit, we're reading Reincarnated as a Dragon Hatchling. I figured you'd like that, Overlord. Me? Good to hear. Hello, hello. Hope everyone's doing well today. Hello, Matt. Doing pretty good. Okay, keep this book, put the rest to the side. The other titles that were in... we'll do that once we go live. What did I just do? Okay, I came back. Glasses there. Yeah. I hadn't found a Reddit category yet. I did not want it popping up on political stuff. Hello, Overlord. Hello, Matt. I hope you're both having a wonderful day today. That the weather is treating you well. I was not behind on stuff today, I just, a little behind on getting the phone set up. It's fine. Okay, there it goes. Oh wait, better turn notifications off. Where's the clover? Thank you, Overlord. brain was... I was super sleepy this morning. Wait, why is it doing that? Because display capture's on, that's why. No, that's the wrong one. As well as can be on the muggy Monday, but it's definitely doing better now. Aw, that's kind of you to say. So if we don't click on anything here, we don't sit down. Which means we can take Clover and we can move her to the middle. Meow. I can make her big. Gigantic Clover. I feel that, Matt, it's warm here. Fluff the sun. Well, we'll keep Clover where she usually is. I don't want to have to redo the headbats on Mix It Up. Feeling a little lazy there. Okay. We'll leave that scene alone. We'll go plop herself in the chair like we usually do. This was a new background that I could buy. Gigantamax Clover. That is something I can do with scenes and a button, a hotkey. I just haven't got it set up yet. Or I can like hide small, the size Clover and then bring in tall Clover. It's one of those things that feels daunting to try. Okay. Let's go scroll. I'll just go to Am I the A-hole here? That way I don't have to think too hard. It's easy to do. You can do anything you set your mind to. I don't doubt that I can do it. But like I found Mix It Up daunting, I also find the Stream Deck daunting. Reddit needs to go up above the game window. Okay, that's a problem with the window itself and not... Does it shift the scrunch you down? No, that is definitely the wrong way. Well, it may be. There we go. It's a little weird. Like, I want to set up one where I can swap which model I'm using. And I want to set up, like, effects, like rain noise, actual rain on the screen, a robot voice, an echoey voice, so it sounds like inner monologue thoughts, especially for reading streams. Oh, well, that's kind of harsh. Okay, I don't like the way the screen worked. Alright. Transform back. Hit the screen. Is that any better? Did you hear the story about the upset crustacean? Apparently it was very crappy with people. Oh my, no. Yes. Okay, we'll give ourselves timer. Start it. Just cover the clover. You see no disembodied hand? Maybe I shouldn't set the timer. I don't like that it's there. Hide countdown timers. Enabled. Okay. We can hide it, that's good. Go away, go away. And I had a decently quiet weekend. Was it Thursday or Friday? The New Year's timers suck. I missed the old one. Yeah, same. No, I can hide it. I can drag it and hide it behind Clover. That's about as much as I can do. I can't shrink it down any. Prompt before new session. Session timer style timeline circle. A timer. It did not become circle. Maybe it's a start session? Because the session is... Bring this over. Short break. Does that work? We got it back! Alright. Well, it's been a while since the, thank you, Overlord. It's been a while since, the bots have gotten around the Nightbot, but... This used to show the minutes down on the countdown. We'll just hide it behind Clover. Be gone, bots. Good job, Overlord. Not when I am around. You are strong. I'm tempted to just say no to the timer, but I kind of want the spirit credits. Because I think you get more when you have a timer running. I know last time I didn't have the timer running and I still got points, but I think you get more when you do. Eh. We'll just say no to the timer. Hide countdown. Automatically fade. I wonder if that's something else in the settings. Persistent clock widget. Disabled. Time format 12 hours. Clicking sounds. Purchase sounds. Level up sounds. We do not need level up sounds. We do not need purchase sounds. That's fine. Aha, click the timer to make it go away. I feel like this is off to a slow start, and I feel bad for that. I was trying to do the typical talk about the weekend thing. The only thing is, I got a little gouge on my finger Friday. Jeannie had ordered a whole bunch of stuff online. Food-wise, like a ton of bottled water, jugs of water, ton of snacks and sweets and cookies and soda. Bonk, are you fine? I have not had a bug command. I forgot to do that. Yeah. It's healing up okay. and just put some Neosporin and a Band-Aid on it. But I didn't notice it happening until I got back upstairs and my finger just started stinging. And I'm like, eh? What happened? And then there was blood. I'm like, oh. Let's go wash this off. Put the stuffs on it. It worked out. Mouse, where are you? Here's my mouse. Do we want to dip our toes in other people's relationships? I don't like the way that ended up happening. Should I just do a whole new screen? And then Bess came home Friday. I made the food that I displayed in the Discord because like I couldn't decide what to make, so I just made a little bit of other stuff. Pizza, pot pie, some General Tso's, some potatoes. Turned out fine. I am not touching that one. Nope. Okay. Am I the asshole for refusing to pay for my girlfriend's dress after she ruined mine? I hope Bess is getting used to the zone time change back. I think they're doing okay. They've been getting long sleeps, but they've not been getting really good and restful sleep. Hopefully that'll equalize out in a day or two. They're working from home today. I had to banish them to the living room. It's like, shoo, shoo. We'll go with this one. It's pretty short. What? No. Reddit screen, I do not want you to display. Oh. Well, that's unexpected. Okay, I don't like the way that's happening, so I'm just gonna delete that one and create a new one. Window capture. Edit to electric boogaloo. Display that. Okay. There we go. Now it's scaling properly. No, not that way. Shift? Oh, that looks funky. Is there a way to reset that to normal? I should have done this initially. Okay, delete it again. Okay, we'll get it eventually. We're just having... Because I already had a little screen set up on kids, so maybe I just need to bring that scene back in properly. Hello Tofu, congratulations on your daily cookie. You now have 6 cookies. Num 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 num. Window capture, add existing. So I wish I could hide this side, the right side of stuff. I wonder if there's a way to block ads on. Okay. go smaller. Bring you in. Expand out a little bit. Up. How does that look if I just scroll down like this? I still see the commercials. I'm tempted to change scenes to the Reddit recording scene to see how I have that set up. Let's do that real quick. That's somehow even worse. What in the fresh hell was that? Delete it from that scene. Maybe it was shift. No, not shift. Control, no. It's worth trying. Best I could do is like pinch it up like this and hope for the best. Just put it up. See how that does when we scroll? Okay. My ad blocker is not working properly, so random ads on Reddit. Which is why I'm doing a private browser, because I do not need local ads popping up and telling everybody where I live. r/am I the a-hole here by Kate of Peace 8200. Am I the a-hole here for refusing to pay for my girlfriend's dress after she ruined mine? I, 27 female, had a white silk dress I wore to a work gala last weekend. It cost me around $450, which was a big splurge. My girlfriend, 30 female, borrowed it without asking while I was away visiting family. She went to a party, spilled red wine on it, and left it in a heap in the laundry room. When I got back, I found it ruined. I was shocked and asked her why she didn't ask. She said I never wear it and it was just a dress. She offered to buy me something similar off Amazon, but refused when I sent her a link to the same dress. She said she's not dropping $400 of her fabric. I told her until she replaces it, I'm not buying her the shoes she wants for her cousin's wedding. She's furious and says I'm being vengeful. I'm the asshole here for standing my ground. Did cleaning services exist? I'm sure the dress was dry cleaned to begin with, so you probably should have just taken it to a dry cleaner. Not OP. OP's girlfriend. OP's girlfriend is the one being the asshole here. Not the asshole. She buys the same dress. Something off Amazon isn't going to be comparable. She could have bought herself something off of Amazon if she wanted that style of dress. Sounds like she doesn't respect you or your property. She made zero attempt to clean it and threw it on the floor. Even if she hadn't spilled wine on it, it should have never been thrown in a heap on the floor. I think you need to reevaluate everything, not just whether you gotta buy her shoes. 100%. It's not just about the dress or the wine. It's about basic respect. She doesn't care enough to treat your things with care, and now she's trying to just downplay it with some cheap replacement. That's not a fix, that's avoidance. The lack of accountability here is a huge red flag. I wonder if the dress is salvageable by a professional cleaner. This is the very least your girlfriend should have tried. I agree with this. Do not buy her anything until the situation has been resolved. If the dress can't be cleaned, then it needs to be replaced. Same for the relationship. I'm not going to say this should be the same for the relationship unless there are previous instances of the girlfriend being this inconsiderate. But that is incredibly inconsiderate. Hello, Mr. Tomo. I've been doing pretty well. I have cough suppressant meds now, so hopefully I won't be coughing too much during stream. And how have you been? How was the Pokemon going? That reminds me I was going to do stretches, not stretches, lurks. Excellent reminder. Oh, not there for lurkies. Okay. Doing good, just chilling. The challenge run is going well. Hating the pressing beep after every battle. Strategy lurks. Yeah, redeem stretches and then go to lurk. It works. Totally. How about a level 1 run in Pokemon? I feel like I don't think that's ever going to work. Hey, why is that cut off now? No, but the no moves plus no evolving plus no evolving has been fun. It's simply logic. If the roles were reversed, the dress ruiner would have wanted her expensive item to be replaced with the same value too, and not with the cheap replacement. Yeah. That's a good point, Tofu. Considering OP's girlfriend wanted a pair of shoes that are apparently going to be really pricey. Equivalent exchange. I wonder if they've posted more. Nope. Posts. Maybe there's something in the comments? OP hasn't commented on any of the replies yet. Okay, that's fine. It is just a 2-hour post. It's pretty new. Hello, Shakabi. How you doing today? Shakabi has 15 cookies. Nom 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 nom. Overlord also has 15 cookies. Nom 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 nom. Whenever anybody forgets a cookie, it goes into Overlord's pile. Pretty good, although the tummy is not doing so well. I remembered dinner. I'm glad you had dinner. I hope your tummy settles down soon and you feel better. This bothers me greatly. Is there a way to turn ads off? Like, I can't report it. There's nothing illegal about the ad. I don't think the ad block works proper. That explains some things and why I was having difficulty. The ad is bigger than the thread. Yes! It's not the size of the ad that bothers me, it's that it's about Wegovy. It's a weight loss injectable pill that has the same ingredients that's used for a lot of diabetic medicine. So, you know, people are using it to lose weight just because they want it as a weight loss drug and not as an, there might be a shortage if everybody and every celebrity is using these drugs as weight loss tools instead of, hey, the people with diabetes may need it to save their lives. r/Emma the Asshole here. Isabel Spicy. Emma the Asshole for refusing to split my inheritance with my half-sister after how she treated me as kids. Throwaway for obvious reasons. Well, the obvious reason is that your other people are also on Reddit. I, 28 female, recently learned that my grandfather left me a significant sum in his will. My mom has always told me that my half-sister Amy, 30 female, and I should be treated the same. But when we were growing up, Amy made my life hell. Think bullying, stealing my stuff, getting me into trouble for things I didn't do. We were never close, and when she moved out at 18, we barely spoke 4 years. Now that my grandfather has passed, Amy and my mom are both saying that it's only fair that I split what I got 50-50 because family is family. I feel like after everything Amy put me through, I don't owe her anything, especially when she made it clear all those years that she wanted nothing to do with me unless she needed something. Mom's been guilt-tripping me, saying that I'm being selfish and that Grandpa would have wanted us to share. But the will literally names me and not her. Am I the asshole for not splitting my inheritance with my half-sister even though it's causing a family rift? No. What did the grandfather want? Is his money? The grandfather explicitly left it to the younger child. So grandfather is like fluffing me. So they're only 2 years apart, so they grew up together. It's not like OP's mom was married for 10 years, divorced, and then had a new kid. There's not a huge age gap between them. They should have grown up, you know, family doesn't really mean anything. It's just people you live with, but that's my opinion. Blood doesn't mean you're family. It means you're unfortunately related to people. Family are the people you choose to support and who in turn support you. Like friends. Friends are the family you get to choose for yourself. And your life partner, the person you choose for yourself. Let's see if Isabel has any other posts about her sibling. Eh? Posts? Comments? No, just back to the sister one. Better way to put it? See, this is what anime teaches you. And television. Isn't that what's so much about, like, you got the sitcoms where, oh, we're family, we have to come together for family. But, like, the ones that are more like Friends. Where you forge your own little family. And then again, I don't watch a lot of television anymore, so who knows? So back to the OP and OP sister. I'm guessing that either Amy was from a previous marriage or someone that the mother was more interested in. And that's why she's the more favored child, and that even though OP is from a later relationship, maybe OP's father isn't somebody that OP's mother liked as much, and so she favors the older child. Or it could just be first child is special child, the way some people are like the youngest child is special child. The only thing I watched on TV was Walking with Dinosaurs, and I don't think I can use those lessons in everyday life. Sounds like a skill issue. Okay, still a bit of a cough, but we're fine. But also, no. In no way would OP be the asshole for not splitting the money. Like, if there was an issue between the siblings, the mom could have sent them to therapy. Wow, Mimi? I am terribly selfish, of course I am. Thank you for the head pat, Shakabi. Medcheck, I took my meds before stream, and Overlord also medchecked me before we went to the just chatting screen. But thank you for asking. You're not selfish? Okay, if I won a massive amount of money, I'd be more likely to spend my money on my friends than I would my family. I mean, if my parents had still been around, I'd have paid off their debts, sent them to rehab. But other than that, Other than just them, I would go spend it on my overseas friends. And that sounds like I'm in part of a scam. But, you know. They have dreams that I could then support. I'd be like, more like the little, what about me? All I need is more books and Eevee plushies. I would maybe buy more electronic stuff. Get all of the life-size Eevees. As I said, more Eevee stuff. Never enough Eevees. But I would like to facilitate certain people's dreams of being able to live together. As I think that would be really fun. And even if I couldn't move there with them, you know, I still know that I have people who would welcome me in those spaces. But can't move. I want more stories from OP to talk about how her mom treated them growing up. It kind of like, if the mom's guilt tripping, it kind of like she's like, oh, well, kids will be kids. You just deal with it, grow up, get tough. But no, we agree with Ulquiorra 1312. Grandpa left it to you. I bet he knew how awful she was to you. Exactly. Had Grandpa wanted to leave Amy an inheritance, he would have. He wanted you to have it, OP. And you feel giving half to Amy will disrespect his wishes. I still do not like where that is positioned. Yeah. Ooh, if I put it below chat will talk over it. Excellent. Yeah, maybe that'll work out a little better. Not the asshole, but if you don't honor your grandfather's wishes, you would be the asshole. Of course your half-sister wants you to share, and of course she wouldn't share if the roles were reversed. It's called greed. Your mom is an asshole. She made clear who her priority was. I also wonder what half-sister offered her, or she's just naturally biased. I also wonder what the half-sister's financial situation is. Maybe she's leeching off of mom, and mom is like, yes, give her half the money and I won't have to support her anymore. And then is like one of those people who feels like, I can never stop supporting my kids if they need the help. Ask your mom. If Grandpa wanted me to share, why'd he cut her out? Then walk away, hang up, or stop responding. Not the asshole. I guess it's OP's paternal grandfather, and of course he has nothing to do with the person who's not his grandchild. I was not considering that. I should have, but my immediate assumption was that it was the maternal grandpa. If OP's maternal grandpa, her half-sister and mother have been so obviously awful that he skipped his own daughter and scratched out his second granddaughter. If your mother is correct, Grandpa would have stated it in his will. Alone contact, no contact. I would say you agree family is family, and that is why you will honor the wishes of your grandpa. Reiterate that if he wanted you to share, he would have split the inheritance. He didn't. So you will honor his final wishes. End the conversation there and let your mom know if she chooses this path. Chooses to push this, she will be pushing you away and you remove yourself. Words, Clover. Alright. Seems like the general consensus is not the asshole. Wahahaha. Your mother's belief that you and your half-sister should be treated the same can only extend to her behavior. Your grandfather did not wish for any of his money to go to your half-sister, presumably because he did not view her as being a relation. Your half-sister will have relatives that you do not have, and were she to inherit from them, you would have no call on that money. Tell your mother that stealing what is yours just to give to your half-sister is theft, irrespective of what language she uses to justify it. I mean, at least the money wasn't put into the mom's hands, so she can't, like, forcibly give it away. Go away, Wagovi. Okay, I'm gonna open a couple of these. I'm at the asshole here from Leg Electrical 9214. I'm at the asshole for asking my husband's Italian friend to cook for herself and told her I would not eat her food. My husband's friend flew in from Bellagio, Italy a week ago, and as much as I tried, I could not make her happy with any type of home cook, or even restaurants in Melbourne. Took her out to restaurants. We wanted to introduce her to a variety of food we have. No sushi, no Thai, no Chinese, because Italian food is the best. We went out for Italian 3 days in a row. She complained about pasta, about cheese, anything that wasn't as good as in Italy. She complained about the wine not tasting enough. She got mad when I dared to order a cappuccino at 4 p.m. because we don't drink cappuccino after 12 p.m. I was like, yeah, I drink with what I want at the time that I want. Coffee was either too burnt or not hot enough. We went to Kohl's to do some shopping. Straight away, she complained about no authentic Italian pastas, and in the middle of the aisle decided to teach me how to properly say the name of each pasta. We decided to cook at home today, mind you. I'm Asian. I love my spices. I love flavorful dishes. I decided to cook what I know best. Did not think it would be a bad idea. She came, and the first thing she said was, "Your house smells bad." The fish sauce. And she proceeded to ignore my dish and asked my husband to take her out for some lasagna. When she got back, she told me I should learn to cook Italian dishes because it isn't good for my husband to always eat fusion food. Online recipes are just stupid for straying away from the roots. What the F? I was so mad, and I did not mince words. I told her how arrogant and obnoxious to think Italian food is the best. Told her Italian isn't the best, and we would not take her out for any Italian meal. She could go shopping for herself, cook it, and enjoy it alone. Sorry, but the ingredients wouldn't be as good as in Italy, but she was either in another country. Be grateful for what she could find. She cried and decided to leave early. My husband tried to tell me that she's set in her ways. She doesn't travel that much all her life. 60 years, this is the second time she's traveled out of the country. The last time was to Germany, and it was well over 25 years ago. He told me maybe I should just, say sorry to her to smooth the situation. I refused, told him she cannot live without her Italian heritage for just a few weeks. There's no point in me convincing her to like me anyway, so, am I the asshole? No. So, hello, Rev. Shakbi says, the friend is so ready. Yes. Your Rev has 10 cookies. Yum, 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 yum. I hear food. Hello, Shakabi. Hello. I would say fair if someone's going to complain 100% of the time about your cooking, about the cooking in your country, and those are inside thoughts. You keep them inside. You do not voice them unless they literally make you ill, okay? They're set in your ways, and then there's people who will take over your dish and ruin it. It's fine not to like something, just don't be rude. Exactly. I think if they called her out on the rudeness, she'd say, well, that's just the way we are. Not the asshole. I'm Canadian, have been to Italy several times, and currently have Italian exchange students. Now, the exchange students will make the odd comment on food differences here and there. They don't like the coffee either, but they're usually very polite and grateful for trying new things. As part of being somewhere different is to experience culture. My friends from Italy would never behave like this in my home. They always have polite manners. She was rude to you on purpose and disguised it as national pride. and then complaining about something you're cooking inside your own house, I would kick the person out. I'm wondering if OP's husband is also Canadian. Or, I mean Italian, sorry. Recency bias on that. So they live in Melbourne, which is Australia, I think. Unless there's another Melbourne elsewhere. So is hubby from Italy, or does he just have an Italian friend? And how long have they been friends, right? I wonder if the Italian friend is like, I've been in love with this person for decades. I'm gonna install all the food they ever have, and they'll come back to Italy with me. Or something strange like that. Because people have done weirder. Ah, Reverie has hugged Overlord. How adorable. I love this. Mud hugs. Mud hugs for everybody. I mean, you'd think it sounded like a soap opera, but people have done stranger. And Overlord has hugged Rev back. Nice. I'm from Germany and been to the US multiple times. I didn't like the bread, quotation marks, but I didn't complain about it. Different countries, different food. Half the fun is trying new foods. Yeah. Nope, she was being rude and disrespectful. She should have stayed in Italy if she was going to be that way. Facts. Traveling just insult your host's culture and food to speak entitlement. If Italy's so perfect, she should have stayed there chewing her authentic pasta. Rev, have you slept, buddy? Yes, Rev, have you had sleep? Yes, how much did you sleep, Rev? I think a lot of the international friends I have, 5 hours? 5 hours isn't too bad. I think a lot of the international people I know, if you invited them to your home and they had specialty dishes, would probably bring some of their own stuff with them to say, hey, now you can compare authentic with what you have here, and maybe I can help you find brands here in where you live that match the authentic stuff. 50-50, I can understand that some people are really set in their ways and it comes out rude. Maybe she didn't realize how rude she was being because she's so used to being coddled. However, Opie didn't need to not mince words. You can speak firmly and stand your ground but still be polite. I would like to know exactly what she said. Because it sounds like she may have gone on a short diatribe. Ooh, fluffy tails. I like that. I mean, straight up telling someone, hey, you're being insulting, so I'm not going to cook for you anymore. That's blunt enough. But you're going somewhere else to try their food. I think if you have your national food and you're really proud of that, you should acknowledge that you're almost never going to be able to find something in another country that you think is as good as what you make at home. Just, you have different ingredients available because importing the more authentic stuff is hella expensive and a lot of restaurants are not going to do it. A lot of stores aren't going to do it. You could probably, maybe if where you live is big enough, find a specialty store that does. But a lot of places just aren't because of the price. Again, if she thinks her pasta is the best, it's not that hard to just like bring your own bag of pasta and go, hey, let's cook together and I can share how good this pasta with you is. But just straight up say, I don't like your own heritage? I'm bad with words today. I don't like your own lineage. That's still not right. Just to say, I don't like the food you grew up cooking because it smells bad. Completely ignore the dish and then leave for lasagna, right? Thank you for the head pat, Shakabee. I swear I've had caffeine today. I like the passive aggressive on this one. Make her uncomfortable. Cook fish every day. Use every spice. Not the asshole. I'm Indian and I don't like Indian food abroad, so I always try to eat the local food. Even if I have to eat Indian food, I'm mentally prepared to be disappointed. It's never going to be like home. It's also very rude of her to say those things about your native cuisine. Native, thank you. At 60, she should have better manners. Being dismissive of Asian food seems a little racist, too. She should come to my house and smell the durian paste and fermented durian. Oh, Shakabee, she'd probably pass out in shock. Let it happen. Like, I would really love to visit Japan someday. And I would love to try the food. Right? Cooked by, bought in Japan, cooked in Japan. And then I can compare it to the Asian restaurants I have at home. But I'm not going to go home afterwards and go, oh, this isn't as good because it's not as authentic. Or eat the food in Japan and go, wow, I don't like this because it doesn't taste like the Asian restaurants at home. It's just too rude. Like, if there's something I don't like, those are inside thoughts. I complain in my head. Maybe I would compare and contrast something with Bess in privacy afterwards. But that would be about it. When I travel, I really like to have at least one meal of my home cuisine to see how it's changed by the host country. Personally, I love it even if I hate the food. It's really cool to see how different countries adjust for local tastes and what's available locally. And it's a nice little insight into culinary culture. I like this one because it makes me think about McDonald's. And you're like, but McDonald's? Well, yeah, because McDonald's does sell regional things based on the country they're in. And so they can get some really interesting flavors elsewhere. Starbucks does the same. I'm sure there are other countries that do too. I just don't know that many. Not countries, restaurants that do the same, right? The big chains. So she insults fish sauce, but insults her own heritage by ignoring that fish sauce was a cornerstone of Italian cuisine until the Americans gave them tomatoes. How classy of her. What? In Spain, you can get beer at McDonald's. See? Stuff like that. I'm not going to say that there's no place in the US where McDonald's doesn't sell beer, but I've never seen it. The most different McDonald's I've ever been in was one in New York City, where it was like 2 stories and there was a piano player. In Malaysia, you can have nasi lemak in McDonald's. I don't know what that is. I'm writing it down. The sample is horrible. They're not recommended. Fair enough. If this ever becomes relevant, I will write it down and remember. Because I have to write it down or I won't remember. brain is very forgetful. Not the asshole forgetter. I'm 100 times more concerned why your husband is asking you to kiss another woman's ass to smooth things over. Terrible look for your husband. Wait, or cheating? No, I'm not gonna say he's cheating with a friend. That would be one hell of a long-distance relationship. Now the question is, if there is a McDonald's in the Pentagon. The internet says yes. I was joking. I didn't think the answer would be yes. Yeah. That's pretty funny to me. Taste of home, I guess? I'm not sure there is a town in America that doesn't have a McDonald's. Moving on to Am I the asshole for changing who I'm inviting to my wedding by Complex Inner 917. I'm getting married July 2026. A few weeks ago, I texted people I was planning to invite and asked for their addresses for save the dates. No screen? Okay, I'll put the screen back. Thank you, Shakabi. And move it up. I mean, if you wanted to. I have before. Inconclusive on whether or not it does better or not. So I'm just gonna move that over there. Hide the toes. Just text asked for an address, didn't specify for what reason. After reviewing venue policies, we're getting dumped with a bunch of fees and charges we hadn't previously allocated, such as a $1,000 charge for air conditioning. What the hell? Now, I don't know if I can invite everyone I asked for addresses from. My plan was to remove anyone I hadn't seen in person for a year. However, I feel super guilty because I asked for their addresses. Would it make me the asshole to not up sending them invites? No. Okay, if these people don't know why you asked for their address, send them a small gift. Send them a pretty postcard. Send them like a birthday card or a Christmas card. just if they weren't invited to the wedding already, you don't have to tell them. Weddings can be expensive and people will understand. You'd think people would understand, but sometimes people are very self-centered. And then the sidebar is like more stuff about weddings, so I'm gonna pop this up too. So you didn't read your venue contract, nor did you ask questions. That is a good question to ask, but yeah, ask your venue policies and stuff ahead of time. But they also could have been sneaky and be like, oh, you can review it after you save your spot, you know? Like, our slots for weddings are going really fast. You might not have time to get it on the date you want if you don't lock it in first. It just, Scummy, but I'm sure places do it. Not the asshole. You are a year out from your wedding and in the planning stages. If it was June 2026 and you were asking, it would... Okay, I'm assuming they meant June 2025 and you were asking, because that would be like sometime within a few days, right? Oh. Maybe they did mean June 2026. But that's still a year out. Not the asshole. Not sure what the right action is here. I would do as you're doing and feel bad about it too. You're the asshole. Not out of malice, but because of stupidity. Read the contracts and policies before committing to them. What can you do though? If you want to invite more people, this is a time for you and your fiancé to contact your families for some assistance. While not a responsibility, it is very common for families to help out with wedding costs. You could also always find a different venue. I know a lot of people don't like to do that because they're like, this is my dream venue and I want my dream wedding. But personally, I would never want to spend this much money on a wedding. Even that $1,000 for the air conditioning fee, just $1,000 would bother me. Maybe it's because my memory is like Swiss cheese. Not the asshole, it's your wedding, and if there's anyone you can feel guilty about uninviting, talk to them in person or on the phone. Be honest, you can always go out for a meal on the day out with or a day out with these people and celebrate privately with them. If they react well, then you have no guilt. If they react poorly, then you probably wouldn't have enjoyed them at your wedding, and again, you have no guilt. Edit, you can also say it's just to send wedding announcements or for your Christmas card mailing list. But you will have to start sending out the Christmas card. Yes. Just send cards. Honestly, what you do can make it dream day is better than not doing it just because it can be better. Maybe it's my inner practicality, but I'm like, yes, I would want to feel special. I would probably do something outdoors-ish. But okay, because weddings cost so much money, right? And you're like, it's one day. You get a pretty dress, you have a ton of people to come out to celebrate you, and you feel fantastic for that one day. But then you have the rest of your life to look forward to, right? And all of the money you could have put to feeling special for that one day, you could put toward a house, or paying off debts, or a vehicle, or just in a savings account in case you ever get sick, because insurance sucks in a lot of places. Maybe it's just the way I grew up, but I can understand dreaming about having all the expensive stuff because I didn't have a lot of money growing up, and a dream wedding would be just a dream. But I also don't know how a lot of people's dreams can measure up to a reality unless they spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. And my inner practical self is like, but you spend $10K on a wedding. Okay, you could go on a cruise for that, and you could have a week-long worth of memories. 20,000? Maybe you can have a down payment on a house, and you can have a, decades worth of memories in this house. 30, 40, what can you put? It's just the memories of one nice day, or how many memories can you create with that money on other venues? The wedding industry would probably hate me. Which makes it funny that so many of the stories that popped up on the site are all about weddings. You know what? Let's try to find something that's not wedding related. This one sounds like it might be funny. Am I the asshole for not shaving my legs before a date and making him uncomfortable? By Starry Snack. I, 26, female, went on a second date with the guy. I wore a mini dress and didn't shave my legs. They weren't super hairy, just a bit visible up close. I just didn't feel like it and don't always do it unless I want to. The date was nice, but later he texted, "Next time, maybe smooth legs." I felt kind of weird about that. My friend said I shouldn't have shaved because it's early dating, but I don't think I should change my body for someone I barely know. Am I the asshole for not shaving and possibly making him uncomfortable? Well, no. Hold on. Gotta mute for a sec. He said next time? Okay, yay, I got to mute. Bess came in, was gathering stuff out of the room, and as I said, the mic tends to pick up everything. Even when it's not facing in the correct direction. And you're right, Shakabi, he did say next time. So, he does at least want a third date. It's fine, mute when you feel like it. I muted because I felt it was necessary. Because then they were quietly cussing to themselves for how long it was taking them to gather everything up, and then like try to plug in something to charge, and it was like, one more thing. I'm like, come on. Also, something kind of creepy to ask someone you're not dating. How many dates do you go on before you consider yourself dating? I mean, I think it's something you shouldn't say to a girl. You're asking the wrong person. I have very, very little dating experience. But Inner Sassy Clever wants to go. Like, if he texts, next time maybe smooth legs, I would go like, you first. Like, I'll shave if you shave. What's dating? I have Final Fantasy 14. Did you know you can play for free for up to so many levels? And a certain X-Pack. Oh yeah, that's something I have to get on. Not the asshole, you can text him. It's nice of you to offer, but no pressure to shave for me. Only if you want to. Yes! Specialist Engine is channeling my inner snark. I would next time grow a beard, not that fluff in your face. Wear a fake beard. You don't need permission. You don't need my permission to shave your legs, it's your body. Smiley face. If you really want to shave your legs, be my guest, but don't do it for me because I don't care. Nice. I love the energy. I think I like it because it channels the Bean Squad energy so much. Not the asshole. He doesn't have to like body hair, but to actually have the nerve to comment on it is ridiculous. Once when I was in my 20s, I went on a couple of dates with a 40-year-old man. On our second date, I didn't wear makeup or put my hair up in a ponytail. I was tired after a long day and didn't feel like it. While sitting at the diner waiting for food, this man looks me dead in the eyes and say, "You need to take your hair down and go to the restroom and do your makeup." This I don't care. Look, isn't attractive. I was too exhausted to even get annoyed about it. I got up and walked out without saying a word. In my mind, if you have a problem with me being my natural, comfortable self, then you don't like me enough for me to spend time with you. He was shocked that I didn't do what he said, and that I really left. Unfortunately, it turned him on to be put in his place, his words, so it took a few weeks for me telling him no before he stopped trying to date me again. He wanted to dummy on me. I'm glad I had a rough day that day and didn't convince myself I was the wrong one. My friends told me I shouldn't have ever gone on a second date like that. They told me I was wrong to do that to him. All I could think of was how I look 90% of the time is such a problem, then we shouldn't be dating. What do you mean a few times? Once is enough. I do not want to make comment on people dating that far outside their age range. Because I know Patat. I mean, like, we've not met Patat in person, but, right? They have a nice, healthy relationship. Proving that you can have an age gap. It just needs to be on a case-by-case basis. But, yeah, looks like, she accidentally unlocked a kink for him. Good job, OP. Expand his horizons and then get out. Back when I was a teen, my mom started dating this guy who asked her to put on some makeup on their dates, so she started wearing lipstick. I remember thinking it was nice that she was dressing up for him. Then I met him and got the absolute worst gut feeling about him, and basically threw a hissy fit until she decided to break up. She admitted later that there were a bunch of other red flags that he was controlling, including telling her when they broke up that she needed to control me and that I'd eventually learn my place. After that, I decided not to date someone who told me to change anything about myself. Ooh. The fact they know how to be nicer on dates than these people is sad. Ask yourself, would I treat a friend like this? If you would, maybe you shouldn't be friends. But if you wouldn't, don't do it to a date. There's a certain kind of guy who looks at everything women do as some sort of signal. Like we have some unspoken language that is more important to figure out than having an actual conversation. Avoid these guys. A friend or a maven, because one will get me slapped. Would you treat me or Darklight like that? There you go. I can't say Nova because Nova's, you know, Nova's the eldest sibling, so we got a teaser from time to time. As an old lady, it makes me sad to know that women reinforce this ridiculous narrative of what you should do to land a man. Back in the late 80s, this was such a problem. One woman told me when my BF was being a huge ass, not coming for him, don't be difficult about it or he'll never marry you. So essentially, allow yourself to be abused or he will marry you. So gross. How old was that old lady? Because if you're in the 80s, then the old lady was probably in the like 30s and 40s and 50s when like people just did more likely accept it and not talk about it. Not the asshole, just text back, what next time? Or even better, no, you don't have to wax for me and play it. He didn't say whose legs had to be smooth. How about another date? If he feels comfortable dictating your body hair on date 2, girl, he ain't the one. Nah, I think responding with the joke would be good to see what his sense of humor is. But still, it's 2 dates. It's not that hard to drop. But how does he handle the joke? I got so far into the comments saying no, he's an that would be an asshole thing to do that I forgot about the, you know, all the jokey ones. Because maybe he handles it really well. Maybe he doesn't. Like, how did you meet? How well did you get along beforehand? What do you have in common? close that tab. This one is, am I the a-hole, would I be the a-hole public? From Bron0913. Am I the a-hole for my friend and I? I don't understand why he would want a wedding like this. Okay. We have been friends since childhood and have a good relationship, but there is one thing that pisses me off all the time. My friend isn't responsible for his life and finances and constantly resorts to my help. This one was 2 months ago. I feel like I've seen this one before. I don't mind helping him, but when I see that he starts wasting money, drinking and having fun, relying on the fact that I will help him out until the paycheck, it tunes me out. I'm helping him to degrade in this way, and I don't let him realize whose responsibility is. What responsibility is. And then he decided to get married. Everything seemed fine, but they're planning a wedding they can't afford. I know his budget can't afford it, and it's not necessary. Plus, he had a mishap at work that affected the budget. I advised him to postpone the wedding a bit or make it more modest. He said it's fine, he's gonna fix it. And do you know how he wants to fix it? Today he called me and said, well, you will help me out and borrow money for the wedding, and after the wedding I'll pay you back immediately. That never works the way people think it will. At this time, my wife and I have planned to buy a new car, and I explained to him that I won't be able to help because I won't have the opportunity, and he said, I'm depending on you, buddy. That is, he does not care what we will do with my family, but it's important that his wedding was a success, although he will not provide it. Please, Judge and advise me on the situation. On the one hand, I value our friendship, but on the other hand, it looks like a banal expectation of my good attitude. Why are you friends with someone like this? Nope. Like, I know people who are bad with money. And I wouldn't say that I am, like, the greatest at saving money. I have my own little areas where I have to be really mindful, or I will spend too much. But if you have to help out constantly, and, like, they want you to take out a loan, no. There's a difference between being bad with money and being stupid. This is just, like, the worst level of financial responsibility. Talk with the guy's fiance. See what she thinks about it. Like, does she know? Okay, is she marrying this guy knowing how much he relies on his friends for help? And close the other tabs. Because I think after this we'll go to the book. Or does she know that he relies on his friend for help and is perfectly okay with that? Usually people are like that with, like, family and parents, not usually with the friend group. Absolutely not the asshole, and I'm surprised it's even a question. You should have stopped bailing him out long ago. Tell him it is time to put on his big boy pants and stand on his own 2 feet. The bank of your name is permanently closed. Not only have I never asked to borrow money from a friend, I don't know of anyone who ever borrowed money from a friend. If they're old enough to get married, they need to pay for themselves. This is not Am I the Asshole, no. He didn't do anything yet. It's Am I the Asshole, would I be the asshole? So he's saying that he has, in the past, given money to this friend. I think the would I be is that, would I be if I don't pay for the wedding? But he is definitely being an asshole to his family by constantly bailing this guy out. Let's see. It doesn't seem as though there is other follow-up posts, but there's a lot of my child is a genius, my child is playing Minecraft, should I be worried? Depends on how old your kid is. The other guy is just a bad friend. Yeah. Like, OP admits that right? He's not responsible and resorts to me for help. I don't mind helping, but I'm helping him to grade in this way, and I don't let him realize what responsibility is, right? So he's been doing this for ages. And OP has been bailing him out time after time after time. Like, how long have they been friends? Can OP speak to the family? Go like, hey, he's relying on me for money all this time. Could you maybe help him out? Or maybe give him a lecture or an intervention. But if he and his wife are saving for a car, then he is being an asshole to himself and his wife by giving money that he could spend on something that would improve their own lives. At what point do you stop helping? Like after the second time you can't teach stupid? I think a little bit of sunk cost fallacy might be playing into this. Like, you've been helping someone for years. If you suddenly stop helping, have you wasted... Oh, sunk cost fallacy? It's where... Okay, it's like playing a gacha game. And you spend... Say you buy... We'll use Genshin as a result. You say, I've bought a battle pass for Genshin for the past 4 years. So that's... Say you bought the minimum tier, right? $10 for 48 months. $480, right? Like, I've spent $480 on this game. I can't stop playing the game because I spent this much money on it. Sunk cost is like, you have to keep going because you've already invested the time and the money. Which is wrong, because if you've stopped enjoying the game, then it is time to stop and walk away. Ask yourself, over this period of time, have you gotten this amount of money enjoyment out of it? As long as you've enjoyed your time with that money, it's fine. But once you're still spending money and you're not enjoying it anymore, you know, your brain is telling you, I gotta keep, you know, I keep paying and I keep playing. I think I'm explaining it badly, right? You don't need to be about it. Like you said, seek anyone to help him as well, but personally, I would walk away. I get what you mean. An easier way to phrase it would be a whale in Genshin who has spent thousands of dollars, who decide that they can't stop playing the game because they spent thousands of dollars. I think it's a little less applicable to people like us who don't have that kind of money to spend, but maybe a little more understandable. It can be the same with friendships. You can be like, I've hung out with this person for years. You know, I have supported them for years. They've occasionally supported me. I don't want to stop being their friend because then I've wasted the past 10 years. People do it with relationships as well, right? Like romantic ones. So like, I've dated this person for 10 years. If I walk away from this relationship now, I've wasted 10 years of my life. But no, you've had 10 years to get to know a person, to get to know yourself better, to learn, to grow, and maybe the relationship just doesn't fit you anymore. Maybe you've grown apart from each other and you're now in two separate places, you're two separate people. And it can be scary, but you can still do it. It's okay. You don't need to let a chunk of time confine you to all of the amount of time that you will have ahead of that point. That's best if you hear the background noise. It's not hard, to be honest. I have spent 200 in a shitty game before, and I can leave it with peace. Good job, Shakabi. Yep. I gave it the wrong name. I think I spelled that all right. We will move over to the light novel, Reincarnated as a Dragon Hatchling. I don't remember. I think I picked this one up purely based on the name. It's also, I think it also has a manga, and maybe at this point it might have an anime as well. Cool title. Dragons! Dragons are always cool. Yeah, I have a lot of books. I just gathered up 6 of them. Wildly varied premises in them all. So I have like the first... Thank you for the cookies instead of cheese, Overlord. Nope, Shakabi. I had my glasses off and the words are fuzzy. Thank you, Shakabi. Stitchy up. Stitchy back. Stitchy to the left. And up. Shakabi, we are one. Yes. Stitchy to the right. And up. I think we should do Dragon Ball Fusion. What would your new name be? What would you look like? Lorbdy? Do, 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 do. I thought I had a list of ideas on the new computer. Oh, there it is. Ha 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 ha. Can we keep the fluffy jacket? I'm writing this down as an idea. High Performance Networking, hello, thank you for the Prime subscription for 22 months on a 22-month streak. Now you know, Darklight still has some a couple scrub commission slots open, so why do I have a Books A Million reward card? That means I can be in the same time still Overlord's jacket. Sneaky, still the jacket. It's so fluffy and warm. It's a fluffy warm jacket. You might overheat if you steal it. Chapter 1, A Walking Egg. I woke up in the dark, feeling dazed and hot like my head was on fire. I couldn't think straight. I felt trapped and lonely. Despite those awful feelings, an inexplicable sense of relief washed over me. Then something split with a crack. A single beam of light entered my stuffy, pitch-black world. I peered through to take a look outside. Seeing through the narrow hole was difficult, but I could faintly make out sunlight filtering through tree branches. So, I guess I'm in a forest or something? I tried to stand up, but another cracking sound came from beneath my feet. At first I thought I'd stepped on something. Then I realized I'd actually stepped through something. Oi, just don't put it in the wash. You need to hand clean it. We can't have it shrink. Aw, see, Overlord's willing to share the jacket. That's nice. I tried to look down at my feet, but for some reason my neck was stuck. I couldn't budge it at all. What the heck happened to me? As soon as I wondered that, a display that reminded me of a video game popped into my head. Species, dragon egg. Status normal. Level 1 of 5. Hit point, 5 of 5. Ooh, that's really low. MP, 1 of 1. Attack 1, defense 3. Magic 1, agility 10. You're an egg, how do you have agility? Rank F. Skills, eggshell, divine voice. Resistance skills, physical resistance, level 1. Normal skills, roll, level 1. View status, level 1. Why does view status have be a skill and not? What level he said? He is level 1 of 5. He got level already in egg form. I suppose he could have started out level 0, but starting out level 1 is pretty common in JRPGs as well. Title skills. Dragon King Sun, level unknown. Walking Egg, level unknown. Isn't this just like what that thing that always pops up in RPGs? Next, a line of text appeared inside my head. Status screen has been opened. Huh? A status screen? What's going on? What does this mean? Status screen displays the numerical value of abilities in a simplified text box. Wait, did you just answer me? Special skill Divine Voice level 1 is an ability which explains status attributes and items. It can also provide information regarding changes in status. What? I really have no idea what's going on. Hang on. Is this a game or something? Or level 5? I'm used to level 1 games. Special skill Divine Voice level 1 is unable to provide that explanation. See, this is where I think if I had a button I could press to make the voice change, to be like echo or deeper. It might be a cool effect. Uh-huh, you keep saying level 1. Does that mean you can provide the explanation if I level up this divine voice, something or whatever? Also, who's speaking to me right now? The wagon voices? We out MC needs a soft reset to be a shiny dragon. I'm sure he'll evolve eventually. There are multiple books in the series. I only have the first one. Special skill Divine Voice level 1 is unable to provide that explanation. Who are you? And more importantly, where am I? Special skill Divine Voice level 1 is unable to provide that explanation. This is gonna be like the scum villain thing. Good things must be said 3 times, isn't it? I had to think about it for a second, I remembered the thing that got repeated there, but I couldn't remember. This conversation was beginning to feel pointless, like trying to play catch with yourself by throwing a baseball against the wall. The voice kept evading the important questions with canned phrases. I doubted that I was talking to an actual person. It seemed more like a machine. I decided to give up on getting answers from the weird voice inside my head, and instead look for someone I could actually understand. I peered through the crack again. It's so hard to see, though. Can't I do something about this? Not being able to see my feet is especially dangerous. Whoa, I lost my footing. Ouch! I definitely fell from something tall just now. Apparently, I'd been nestled up in a tree. I somehow survived the fall, even though it felt like I fell from pretty high up. Gained resistance skill, fall resistance, level 1. Resistance skill? Does that mean surviving the fall powered me up? Oh, my HP decreased from 5 to 3 on the status screen. If it gets to 0, do I die? Oh no, this is a dream, right? This has to be a dream. Already plot armor? He's in an egg, so it's literally plot armor. Gain special skill, Klutz, level 1. Now that's just rude. What's your problem, Divine Voice? What gives you the right to spy on me and make fun of me in the first place, huh? Why even bother to call it a special skill when it's literally just an insult? Special skill Divine Voice level 1 is unable to provide that explanation. You irritating little... You're doing this on purpose just to aggravate me, aren't you? Whatever. I'll just get stressed out if I let the stupid voice get to me. That's it, OP, be chill. I wanted to check out the tree I just fell out of, but I couldn't look up that far. The crack was too small for me to see through, and more importantly, I still couldn't move my neck. What the heck is wrong with it anyway? Oh hey, there's a pool of water over there. I'll go look at my reflection to see what's up. I somehow managed to waddle over to the water and look down. Waddle. Instead of my reflection, I saw a big egg. It had 2 small holes for eyes and 2 more of the stubby feet. The light novel does have pictures. I might later put them into the Discord. I'm not sure yet. The shell was covered in hairline cracks. By any standard, this was just an incredibly peculiar egg. Huh? What is that? I was expecting my reflection, not some monster in the water waiting to attack me. Scared the shell out of me. Is this a joke or something? Wait, it's still there. And when I shift to look, it moves. Is that me? That's really me? I'm an egg? No way! What the heck is going on here? Answer me, divine voice. Dragon egg. F-rank monster. A baby dragon that is sentient, even in its unhatched state. Since it is not yet fully developed, it will die if the egg breaks. Oh my. Then how are you surviving with it cracked? This has got to be some kind of weird joke. I can't believe that's me. This is about as bad as letting a little fetus walk around and think on its own. It is alert but powerless. Its brain is underdeveloped, and its only ability is rolling. Hey, his brain is underdeveloped. I'm thinking all kinds of things right now, in case you weren't aware. Although quite dangerous when grown, the developing embryo is prized for its delicacy due to its rarity and delicious flavor. Now you're calling me delicious? You're the absolute worst, divine voice. Therefore, it is common practice amongst adventurers to kill it on sight and take the egg. It is not advised, however, because the parent dragon may be nearby and can follow the egg's scent. I like this is silly. No, what? You're kidding, right? Kill it on sight? I'm an egg, not a cockroach. What do you mean, adventurers and dragons? What is going on? 2 wild days passed as I ran from progressively weirder and weirder monsters. Hungry black crocodiles and gigantic mean bugs. All I knew for certain was that I woke up in some kind of crazy forest, and I was an egg. This forest couldn't be in Japan. I was definitely in some other country. I wasn't sure which one, but there had to be plenty of places out there filled with hungry black crocodiles and gigantic mean bugs, not to mention klutzy walking eggs and scary 4-armed bears. Are you sure you're not in the lands between? I mean, I only saw normal armed bears, but... Australia? When in doubt, blame Australia. For the scary monsters. Okay, I didn't really know that much about the world outside Japan. I should have studied more. I had no idea things were so terrible overseas. It made me want to cry. Just during all of this, I gained 2 more skills. Hunger resistance and poison resistance. I unlocked both of them when I got so hungry I ate a random mushroom I found. I got a terrible stomachache. And I mean terrible. I was totally at death's doors. When did you crack the egg enough to have your mouth open? He's not ready for the kangaroo final boss. They're so scary. Yeah, kangaroos are really scary. They look cute, but they're muscly little mean things. Not little, big things. It hurt so bad that my whole life flashed before my eyes. Well, 2 days of it so far. Afterward, though, getting new skills made the pain worth it. I decided to try practicing my skills, starting with roll. All I had to do was focus, and then I just instinctively began to move. Before long, I was rolling all over the woods. Zoom! Rolling was so fun that I kept it up. Before I knew it, roll hit level 2. Then I rolled off a cliff and fall resistance was level 2. Nice! The impact of the fall widened the crack in my shell, so I could see even better. The trade-off was that I almost died. Hey, divine voice. I'm really tired. I just want to go home, take a shower, and eat a bag of chips. How do I do that? Did it say he had fall resistance at the start? No, he had physical resistance. So he fell and gained a new skill and 2 levels in it. Special skill Divine Voice. Level 1 is unable to provide that explanation. Can I really level with you for a sec? I'm so lonely that I feel like I'm gonna die. I really think I'm about to start crying. Can you scry? Gain resistance skill, loneliness resistance level 1. Oh hey, thanks I guess. You really don't have to go to all that trouble. No! Get all the skills. Do whatever you must. I appreciate the gesture, but that wasn't what I actually wanted. I wanted to feel someone else's warmth. I didn't want to be strong. I wanted to live my life as a man. No, an egg. Who acknowledged his own weaknesses. It sounded ridiculous when I phrased it like that. What was I even doing before I wound up here anyway? I couldn't remember at all. I knew I was Japanese, and I was pretty sure that monsters didn't exist. What's more, I wasn't even sure if I was a guy or a girl. I felt like a guy, but how could I know? Milk resistance is something Clover needs. My milk resistance is in the negatives! Nah! Sometimes the suffering is worth it, sometimes it's not. Did I get kidnapped and taken to some secret lab where they messed with my body and shipped me off to some other country to fight four-armed bears? What a Divine Voice. What's your guess? Gained title skill. Just an idiot, level 1. Cut it out. This is starting to actually hurt my feelings. Also, can you stop being so clinical? Just talk to me normally. Or wait. Don't tell me you're secretly shy or something. Just wear a milk talisman, Clover, or a ring? If that existed IRL, I would totally buy one. Since I kept accumulating all these strange skills, I decided to check the status screen again. Over the past 2 days, I'd learned that, the same as it worked with roll, if I focused hard enough, I could make that display pop up in my head whenever I wanted. Useful, right? Haha, I like this voice. Snarky voices in the video game system is always nice. I'm sure there's got to be some books where the systems are helpful, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just mean. Maybe I just like when the protagonists get the snarky voices. The one in Scum Villain is... It is not nice. I mean, like... It might be nicer if the person that was helping along was a little less oblivious to their own feelings, but who's to say? Species Dragon Egg, status normal, level 1 of 5, HP 5 of 5, MP 1 of 1, attack 1, defense 3, magic 1, agility F, rank F, agility 10, rank F. Special skills, same as before, eggshell and divine voice, resistance skills, physical resistance 1, fall resistance 2, hunger resistance 1, poison resistance 1, loneliness resistance 1. Normal skills roll level 2, view status level 1. Which means you can level your view status. Does that mean that the skills and stuff don't actually tell you what they do unless you level up view status? That would be kind of useless. Title skills, Dragon King Sun, Walking Egg, Klutz, level 2, and just an idiot, level 1. This reminds me of Overlord, the light novel with the details. I have seen those at the store, but I haven't actually picked them up to look at them. I might have to start getting like the shift positions of it. I might have to get like the extra Amazon Prime sub thing for like the books and stuff. So I have a wider range of things to read. Or maybe a Kobo Rakinen. Like, in page 1, 2 pages are spells and restraints. Resistances. Should you look at the resistances and just say, yes? Like resistance to everything. Hey, my clutch skill leveled up too. Not that I needed the reminder. The status thing is pretty useful though. My HP seemed to recover with sleep. He has a spell called Shark Cyclone. Sharknado! After the fall, I'd been extra careful not to get hurt over the past 2 days. I stayed far away from monsters and satisfied my hunger with the fallen fruit and small bugs. When I got thirsty, I drank the water from a cool spring. And when I ate suspicious mushrooms, I writhed in unbearable agony. In other words, I did my best to survive. I resisted the bugs at first, but eventually I got hungry enough to give in to desperation. Better than the mushrooms, at least. To be real for a second, I felt kind of pathetic that I'd only held out 2 days, and my staunch no-eating bugs line before I gave in. But who could blame me? This hunger was way worse than any I remembered experiencing as a human. Maybe I was going through a growth spurt? Well, you are an egg! An egg hatching a baby dragon. I'd say that takes up lots and lots of energy. And like, he's gonna need the protein. I was an egg after all. If I wasn't going through a growth spurt now, when would I be? The divine voice kept saying stuff about me being a baby dragon, but I sure didn't feel like one. Was I growing at all? Did I have to level up before I could get bigger? How though? By fighting monsters? There was no way I could do that. I was an egg. Wait, eggs hatch in nests, don't they? I thought I fell out of a tree, but what if I had actually fallen out of a dragon's nest in the tree? I should go back and check. I think it's over there. Oh no! Maybe he's just a baby chicken? See, that would make him extra tasty to the adventurers. A grotesque caterpillar thing had crawled out from between the trees. I'd been too deep in this whole thinking business to notice. Thinking is in quotation marks there. This gigantic gross bug was a dark worm, and it had been playing hide and seek with me ever since the day I got here. To be clear, I was the one who was hiding. Besides the dark worm, the forest monsters mostly politely ignored me. And as long as I stayed still, most of the animals would just walk right by me too. The divine voice mentioned that dragon parents attacked anyone who touched a dragon egg. Maybe the other animals knew about that too. But then why did this stupid dark worm keep coming after me? I squinted at it, bringing up my view status skill. Species dark worm, status normal, level 3 of 8, HP 8 of 12, MP 3 of 5, attack 5, defense 2, magic 3, agility 8, rank F. Special skills, caterpillar. Resistance skills, poison resistance. Normal skills, bite 1, call allies, level 2. Title skills, egg eater, level 1. Uh-oh, that wasn't good. Its stats were nearly all higher than mine. I had slightly better agility, which was probably how I'd accidentally managed to outrun it so far. And I definitely didn't like the look of that title skill, egg eater, level 1. That must have been why this creep was following me. It definitely earned that skill by eating, although I didn't ever want to imagine it. We weren't going to be friends. There would be no mutual understanding between me and the dark worm. And even if I got away for a while, it totally had the vibe of a jerk who'd ambush me in my sleep. But I also noticed that its hit points was pretty low. Should I fight it now? Before it has a chance to attack? It was a higher level than me, but I had a better defense and agility. I was pretty confident I could take it in a single hit. Yeah, I'm gonna go for it. Eggy, you don't have an attack skill! Also, so far, they haven't given him a name, so I'm just gonna call him Eggy. Why not? If I won, I could probably level up, and maybe even hatch. That would be the end of this egg life where all I could do was roll around. Get ready to make your dark worm. Eggies? Yes. The dark one wriggled towards me, drooling. I thought the game was over, and now it was dinner time. Hello, Clover. Hello, Maven. How you doing today? Bring it on, wormy jerk. I'll lure you out to better terrain and kick your tail. I don't want to spend the rest of my life as an egg. This game of cat and mouse is over. I'm okay, just too hot for me over here. Yeah, hot and muggy, hot and muggy. It was 85 Fahrenheit yesterday, which I thought was pretty nice because I was cold. Just get good, Maven. Autocorrect, I'm about to fight you. Okay. The cough suppressant is helping, but not perfectly. The status screen told me that I had better defense and agility than the worm, but it had me beat in all its other stats. It's 37 here, which is like 98 Fahrenheit. Dang! I actually would have thought that'd be significantly higher than 98. Come here, Google. Okay, the temperature calculator says it's 100.4 Fahrenheit. Pretty hot. Do not like. I mean, you were really close though. That was only like 2 degrees off. Now I feel bad about complaining about 22 we have here. Humidity makes a difference, right? A damp heat will feel a lot hotter than a drier heat will. Because I think because it's heating up the water molecules in the air and making it like cling to you and stuff. So you feel it a little more immediately. The status screen told me I had better defense and agility than the worm, but it had me beat in all its other stats. Most notably, its attack power was far better than mine. Its hit points was low, but mine was way lower. If this nasty guy landed just one hit on me, I was done. Meow. Hello, Lustakilla. How you doing? Subscribed for 11 months on 11-month strength. Oh my. Thank you for the 11 months. I really appreciate it. I hope you're having a wonderful day today. Meow, meow, meow. I'm doing fine. I hope you're doing wonderful, and you're welcome. I'm doing pretty good. It's a little difficult to do reading streams with wanting to cough, but the cough suppressant is working. I just, because I have high blood pressure, I shouldn't take a higher dose of cough suppressant. So I'm taking a really small dose. Remember not to sip the chaos juice. I've sipped like half a bottle of chaos juice. Chaos juice, chaos juice. I also have tea that I'm sipping. And I have about 1.5 liters of water. I have so many sippies today. I was responsible. Should I use my agility to strike first? That would give me an advantage, but all it would take was one counterattack, and my egg life would be cut short. Fair, a good amount of water. It is. I actually had, I had 1.5 liters of water, and then I didn't feel like going downstairs for cold water for my chaos juice, so I poured one of the bottles into the chaos juice bottle. So now it's just one bottle left. It's fine. That was why my plan was to move to more favorable terrain, get the first strike, and deplete its hit points before it could attack me back. I had no idea what attack I should use or how much damage I would do, but I thought it was a pretty good plan considering the circumstances. Meds? Hello, Toto. I've taken my meds. Thank you for asking. Overlord, have you had your meds today? Did Shakaby remember his meds? So I didn't ask earlier because I assumed Overlord was walking home. I remember now. So you are home now. Excellent. You were walking home. I remember you said yesterday that your walk home was like 45 minutes, so I'm like, I'm not gonna harass them about meds until like at least an hour. You can't remember if you did? Toto, go check. So I'm kind of wondering why the dragon hatchling can't understand the other creatures. I mean, if I was a little jog, it could be like 20. A jog in this heat, though? No. I just take it out of the bottle, so I don't know. See, yeah, I can't do that. I have to portion my pills out for the week, because if I can't look and see that I've taken it, I will forget. And then maybe double up on medicine. So you hope you did. But more sweat means more calories burned. It also means you're more likely of passing out from heat exhaustion and dehydration. So be responsible, Bean, and take care of yourself. I had no idea what attack I should use or how much damage I would do, but I thought it was pretty good plan considering the circumstances. What attack? He does not have attack. He's got resistances, but he doesn't have. Unless they added something. Unless they added something and then didn't say what it was. Toto now has 3 cookies. Nom nom nom. And is an anthill. Okay. We'll wait for Toto to come back from the ads. I'm a little sleepy still. I need to go to Costco and buy... I want to buy some chicken salad. Because I like the chicken salad they have there. Also, that's where I bought the last case of ghost drink that I have. And I'm down to 1 can. I want to buy more. Because they had 3 flavors that I liked. I don't know, the Welch's grape juice actually tasted like Welch's grape juice. So I know what day that the local Walmart is supposed to be getting in a new shipment of Switches. So I might add that onto the to-do list. Probably should wait a little while longer, but who knows? Meds taken? Well done, Overlord. I'm proud of you. Coffee goal? Overlord, I'm not sure I should trust you with the Kofago. Like, but I'll be perfectly innocent. I'm back finally. Hello, Toto. We waited for the ads to be gone. Thank you for the head pets, Toto. I was just talking a bit about the shopping I needed to do and head pets for all the mud takers. Yes, you all get head pets. I would feel bad about setting a Kofago for a Switch. Because if it takes a while to actually snag one, because you know they get really fast, and like if you try an online pre-order, even when they got stocked in, then why? It's for stream. It would be for stream, yes. But I don't make enough from streaming to like need to file taxes for it. It falls under a certain line. Adding a Switch to the Kofago might put me above that. It's something I would have to double check. The laws and the rules are a little wonky. O'Neill? Yeah. Maybe I'll add that to the to-do list after stream and double check, but getting to the threshold where I would have to declare anything I get from stream onto the taxes would make the paperwork for taxes annoying. It would be good to know. It would be good to know. It is something I should look up. Because at least stuff on Throne technically counts as gifts without it being, I think, monetary things. They're just gifts. But a Kofago is just straight up cash, so... Yeah, I'll write it down. I'll probably forget if I don't write it down. You could make it a Throne goal. Try to be safe first. So I don't know how Throne does things when it comes to just monetary goals. Look up threshold for... Because I know when companies send YouTubers gifts, I think they have to declare the monetary value of the gift they've been giving, especially if it's considered like, we've sent you this product, you do review on it. But I'm not entirely sure. I haven't seen too many videos on YouTubers explaining that. attack system. Ippy funky. I think I'll just start this part of the book over again. We have not gotten very far in, but all this, we're still like... The story starts on page 10. No, page 9. So there's like artwork at the start of the book, and it's counting those as pages for the story. The dark worm wriggled towards me, drooling. I thought the game was over, and now it was dinner time. Bring it on, wormy jerk. I'll lure you out to better terrain and kick your tail. I don't want to spend the rest of my life as an egg. This game of cat and mouse is over. The status screen told me I had better defense and agility than the worm, but it had me beat in all of its other stats. Most notably, its attack power was far better than mine. Its HP was low, but mine was way lower. If this nasty guy landed just one hit on me, I was done. Should I use my agility to strike? To strike first? That would give me an advantage, but all it would take was one counterattack and my egg life would be cut short. Also, I'm alert to play Reverse 1999, getting pulls before tomorrow for Tuesdays. I'm hitting G50 pity now. Like, have a nice lick, Shakabi. I hope you still enjoy the game. It's been a long time since I've played it. I don't think I'm gonna pick it back up. Thank you for the head pats. Understandable, I still enjoy it. I'm glad you still enjoy it. May it always spark joy. That was why my plan was to move to more favorable terrain, get the first strike and deplete its HP before it could attack me back. I had no idea what attack I should use or how much damage I would do, but I thought it was a pretty good plan considering the circumstances. Shh! The darkworm hissed. Okay, I gotta get away from it. Just keep running. I rolled up a hill. A little eggy rolling up a hill. So silly. Quickly scanning my surroundings for a good place to make my stand. I wanted to find a place with a small drop. Just a few meters, so that even if I fell, it probably wouldn't break my shell. I spotted a small bluff and rode alongside it. Alright, it still followed me. That's a good dark worm. Just keep it up. I slowed down a little, drawing the dark worm in closer. Shh! It must have seen that my stamina was dropping, because its cries were growing distinctly pleased. It was probably thinking, ooh, now I finally get to eat a delicious egg. Ha! Pretty cocky for a worm. It probably thought that I was an idiot since it was just an egg. Well, I'd show it. This fight was as good as over. I'd slow it down, and then circle around as fast as I could. Since the darkworm's body was so long, it would take a while to turn itself all the way around. Putting my plan into action, I pulled my legs up into my shell and used roll. The skill was level 2 now, so I could use it without slowing down, and even accelerate abruptly. My plan worked. The darkworm couldn't keep up with how fast I was rolling. I took the opportunity to pick up speed and crash into its flank. Grrrk! It's GCHKKK. I'm not sure how to describe that as a sound. The friction of me spinning against the darkworm's skin started to rub it away. I threw my weight against it and charged forward with all my might. Your one attack power might. This wouldn't be enough to drain its stamina, of course, but that was where the cliff came in. I used my momentum to wrap the darkworm up around my spherical surface and dove off the edge. We hurtled toward the ground. The centrifugal force of my spin combining with gravity to ensure the worm hit the ground first. I had fall resistance level 2, and it had fall resistance level nothing. Please be enough. If this doesn't do it, I'm out of ideas. Ah! Waddle waddle. Hello, jungle. How you doing today? We crashed into the ground. The darkworm cushioned my fall, but the impact still rocked through my entire shell. The worm was stunned and curled into a ball. Blue-black liquid streamed from its mouth as it collapsed. Oof. Looks like I took a bunch of damage too. Maybe I put too much faith in fall resistance, but as long as I took the worm with me, it was worth it. Unfortunately, my enemy began to rise unsteadily back up. Suffering at work? Oh no. I'm sorry, work is suffering today. May all your co-workers behave themselves soon. And if you have customers, may they be polite. What? You've got to be kidding me. Come on, buddy, chill out. You're bleeding from every orifice. Don't you think you've earned a nice long nap? The darkworm turned its vacant bug eyes on me. Digging its heavy back half into the ground, it reared up furiously. Huh? What's it gonna do? It looks pissed. It let out one last horrible cry before falling back to the ground. They never behave? How rude. Bite them. It let us one last horrible cry before falling back to the ground. Jeez, that scared me. But it's dead. Right? It's dead for real this time? Gained 12 experience points. Title skill Walking Egg level activated. Gained 12 experience points. Whoa, good for you, Walking Egg. Way to go, get that XP. Dragon's Egg level has increased from 1 to 5. Dragon Egg has achieved max level. Evolution requirements have been fulfilled. Hey, he's a Pokemon. I won! All I actually did was run away, but I beat it! I leveled up a lot too. Was it due to the Walking Egg title skill? I was still a little too confused by the title skills, but apparently they gained levels on their own, but passively boosted other things too. And it seemed like Walking Egg was giving me a lot of experience points. The dark worm sure made an awfully weird noise when it died, way higher pitched than its other cries. Well, it was dead, so no longer my problem. Eggy does not remember that it had a call reinforcement skill. Call allies. So hopefully that was just its death noise and not a at the end of my tether I'm calling my allies to come eat you in my stead. Well, what now? Should I take the time to eat the worm? I chowed down on enough bugs at this point that this wasn't going to give me pause. After all, I required lots of nutrition. Don't underestimate the needs of a growing egg. Maybe it was because I leveled up, but I could really feel my body inside of the egg beginning to take shape. Sippies? Thank you for the Sippies jungle. And stretches?
Get ready to move your noodly appendages.
Alright, and headbutts. Thank you for the headbutts. Stretchy up. Stretchy back. Stretchy to the left. And up. Stretchy to the right. And up. Maybe it was because I leveled up, but I could really feel my body inside of the egg, beginning to take shape. A fragment of shell near my mouth cracked and flaked off. Perhaps knocked loose by my fall. I could feel my teeth now. Gingerly, I closed and opened my jaw, chomping my teeth. Yeah, I can move them. If you weren't able to chew before, how were you eating the bugs? Excited by my newfound dentation, I leaned over and bit into the dark worm's back with a crunch. The worm's bitter fluid seeped out and filled my mouth. After I finished my dark worm dinner, I checked my status. Hadn't it mentioned something earlier about evolving? Look until consumed. I could see that working with the fruit, but the bugs? I don't know. Maybe if you just swallowed them whole. Ugh. Species dragon egg, status normal. Level 5 of 5, max. HP 5 of 9. MP 5 of 5. Attack 5, defense 8. Magic 3, Agility 15, rank F. Special skills, Eggshell level Infinite, Divine Voice level 1. Resistance skills, Physical Resistant level 1, Fall Resistant level 2. Hunger level 1, Poison Resistance level 1, Loneliness Resistance level 1, Normal skills roll level 2. Use status level 1. Title skills, Dragon's King's Son, level Unknown. Walking Egg, level Unknown. Klutz level 2. Just an Idiot level 1. I think going forward, I won't read out things that haven't changed. Because I think they're going to repeat this a lot. Wow, my stats just keep getting higher. Since it hit max level, I figured I could evolve. But how? Evolution meant I'd become something other than an egg, right? Some kind of actual creature? Display evolution pattern. The words popped into my head as if my mind was being read. Man, Divine Voice. And here I thought you were just a heartless jerk. I guess you can be pretty considerate when you feel like it. Alright, let's get out of this egg. Future. Baby Dragon rank D. D-. Little Dragon rank D+. Present, Dragon Egg rank F. History, blank. So what? I had to choose between Baby Dragon and Little Dragon? How was I supposed to know which was better? I guess I'd just go by stats and I picked Little Dragon since it had a plus next to its rating. Little Dragon, rank D+. A small dragon species. Keep in mind, even a small dragon is larger than a bear. Its fire blaze attack is feared by adventurers. Oh, there's a description. Man, you're really cool today. Guess the hot part of your hot-cold personality is firing up, huh? I'm glad. I was about to die of loneliness. Anyway, back to the Little Dragon. It sounded pretty good to me. Maybe I'd finally be able to take on some other monsters. Might as well check the other option, though. Baby Dragon, rank D-. Its tender flesh is exceedingly delicious, especially with sauces. Its claw and fangs are short and attack power is low. However, it has many potential abilities and many chances for additional evolution. Baby dragons are often hunted by other monsters and adventurers. Well, that sucked. This description might as well be a restaurant review. Nah, I wasn't going to risk it. Little Dragon was the safer choice. I was barely surviving as it was. If I evolved, I wouldn't have to rely on my tactic of pretending to be a rock so the other monsters ignore me. I was going to have to fight. Get stronger. Huh? I just saw more words in my head. Is that you, Divine Voice? Doesn't sound like you. I didn't know you could sound emotional. Get stronger, get stronger, get stronger, get stronger, get stronger, get stronger. Huh? What's going on? You have only one goal, to gain power. Otherwise you won't be anything more but a common rock. But I expect more from you. Don't disappoint me. Divine Voice? Divine Voice, level 1 has become level 2. Just now? Following the notification of its level increase, the voice went silent. It was freaky, in the same way coming across a glitch in a video game could be. A uniquely unsettling experience that wasn't intended by the game developer. What should I do? Should I go for Baby Dragon after all? Divine Voice seemed to feel strongly about it, and to be honest, I was more afraid of it than the monsters Divine Voice could get inside my head, and it appeared to have high expectations of me. It told me to become powerful, get stronger, be the strongest. Well, if that was the goal, I might as well do the thing properly. Turning into a baby dragon would be the greater challenge, and I'd still be stronger than an egg. It's taking the Overlord challenge run. Time to make up my mind. Whatever creepy entity Divine Voice actually was, it was all I could rely on. Better to keep it on my side as long as I could. The strongest. I had to admit, I did like the sound of that. Alright, let's go. I choose Baby Dragon. And don't start thinking this decision had anything to do with you, Divine Voice. I'm making it on my own. No sooner had I thought that as my egg prison began to shatter. God, my body felt so much lighter now that I wasn't carrying around that heavy shell. Lost special skill, Eggshell level 1. Gained special skill, Dragon skill level 1. Due to title skill, Dragon King's Son level, all resistance skills less than 5 have increased. For real? Isn't enhancing resistance skills kind of cheating? Gained normal skill, Baby Breath level 1. Gained a normal skill whistle, level 1. Gained a normal skill love bite, level 1. It's just a nibble. It's just a little nibble, just a little chomp between kitty friends. Wow, okay. That's a lot of normal skills. Is it just me or do they sound kind of adorable? Were they actually going to help me? I really didn't think I had time to go around getting love bites and whistling. Species, baby dragon, status normal, level 1 of 25. HP 5 of 15, MP 5 of 5. Why didn't the MP increase? Attack 6, defense 6, magic 6, agility 10, agility went down. Rank D-. Let's see, did the defense go down too? Yes, the defense and agility both went down. Attack and magic went up. Special skill, dragon skill level 1, divine voice level 2. Resistance skills, physical resistance level 2, fall resistance level 3. Oh, I thought since they weren't level 5, they would go up to 5, not just like go up 1. Hunger resistance level 2, poison resistance level 2, loneliness resistance level 2. Normal skills, roll level 2. So the baby dragon can still roll. Aww, that's adorable. View status level 1, baby's breath level 1, whistle level 1, title love bite level 1. Title skills, Dragon King Sun, level unknown, walking egg level unknown. Well, it's actually level and then a dash. So I'm not sure if they meant that to be like, it doesn't have a level at all, like it can't, like it's a flat skill, it cannot level. Or if it's like, we don't know, or if it's supposed to be like, infinite. Plus level 2, just an idiot, level 1. Wow, that was a huge stat increase all the way across the board. I wouldn't have thought just one level would make such a difference. Maybe it hit dragon puberty or something. I walked over to a nearby spring to check out my reflection. My body was yellow, and I had big, round eyes. Also, I think I need to share that my grandmother is moved to the hospital ward last night because of dehydration. Oh no. I hope she recovers alright, Jacoby. Unless the dehydration complicated something else, they'll probably only keep her a day or two. Just like put her on IV fluids and get her back up to normal. At least, I hope so. Hoping that there's nothing underlying to cause the dehydration other than just the heat and the weather. I had wings sprouting out of my back, but they were almost embarrassingly small. Ah, I guess I'm pretty cute. But cute or not, I didn't seem to have gained many useful skills. I definitely couldn't fly yet. When I tried to flap my wings, all they did was twitch a little bit. I was absolutely dying to soar through the sky, but I guess that would have to wait. The divine voice wanted me to grow stronger. I had no idea what it was up to, but I knew I didn't want to let it down. I can't drive right now, but uncles are there to keep us informed. She's in the emergency this evening because of fever and transferred to a normal ward last night. Ooh. An underlying illness, spiking a fever and making you sweat out your things. They might keep her longer then. But I hope she recovers quickly. And I'm glad she has someone there to keep an eye on her. Hopefully keep your company, keep you all appraised so you don't have to just be not being able to be there and having to worry. And in the next part of the book. The dragon is drinking water. Hydrate or dihydrate, folks. Do you know what resistance we all need? Insomnia. Sleep resistance, insomnia resistance. Just stay awake forever. Ah, refreshing. Drinking was so difficult when I was inside the egg. It was a constant struggle to get water past the cracks. Now it was like I'd been reborn. Oh well, I guess rehatched since, you know, egg. But I like when I nap. Oh, okay. I see why sleep resistance and insomnia resistance would be two different things. See, it needs to be a toggleable. Toggle it on, you get to stay up. Toggle it off. No, that's backwards. Toggle it on, you get to sleep. Toggle it off, you stay awake. As I was drinking from the lake, I heard a sudden terrible noise behind me. I turned very slowly and faced down a mass of shadows lurking in the forest. I knew that sound. Dark worms. Plural. There were a lot of them. They showed themselves all at once, appearing along the same path I'd taken to get to the lake. There must have been 20 at least, and the sight of them was awe-inspiring. Did they often run in packs like this? What were they doing here anyway? Oh god, I hoped it wasn't because... I thought of that horrible cry the darkworm let out just before it died, and I remembered that skill I'd seen on the status screen, Call Allies. I was right! Great. So it managed to get one last dig in before it kicked the bucket. It took everything I had just to defeat one of them, so how was I supposed to get rid of this many at once? But those doubts burned off as quickly as they'd come, and I felt a strange burst of excitement. I just don't think I'm gonna lose. Sorry, dark worms, but I'm not a little egg anymore. The worms slithered around me until I was completely surrounded. Then they attacked. I released a gout of fire, the baby's breath skill I gained when I evolved. Just like the others, all I had to do was focus on the skill, and I knew how to use it. The dark worm directly in front of me rolled into its back and began to writhe in pain. This was going to work. I charged the worm and stomped on its midsection as hard as I could. Shk! I stomped again, digging my claws into its stomach. A second dark worm came at me from behind. Yeah, try it. Maybe it was because my HP had increased, but getting bitten didn't hurt at all. I was no longer a defenseless egg. The egg had higher defense! The dark worms closed in on me from all sides. I tore into them and sent them flying. When one of them recoiled and left its midsection vulnerable to attack, I seized the opportunity and hit it as hard as I could. Time for one more baby's breath. The weakened darkworms gradually began to run out of steam, 4 of them collapsing completely. They left 16 to deal with. What? That's all you got, caterpillars? Gained 48 experience points. Title skill walking egg level activated. Gained 48 experience points. But you're no longer an egg! How do you still have the title skill active? Wait, I still had the walking egg skill? Thinking about it, the only skill I lost was the eggshell special skill. Was I really going to keep getting double EXP? It felt a little like cheating, but I just put it down to good karma from a previous life. But you don't remember your past life! Baby Dragon level 1 has become level 7. Gained a title skill, Infighter, level 1. Gained a normal skill, Dragon Punch, level 1. Whoa, look at all the power I just got. I'm not gonna let anyone, even one of these worms, get away. They're a total EXP buffet. I leapt back into the fray, barreling into them from the side. They tried to bite my fists, but their teeth didn't even puncture my skin. I like these skills. Okay, from now on, Baby Dragon is Overlord. He has evolved from Iggy and is now Overlord. I leapt back into the fray, barreling into them from the side. They tried to bite my fists, but their teeth didn't even puncture my skin. I'll punch their lights out. Eat my dragon punch. Fire blazed from my fist as I knocked the worm's teeth out of its mouth and sent it hurtling through the air in a flaming arc. It landed on its allies just behind it. And that's 2 more. Just gotta keep up the momentum. I beat them to shreds, tore them apart, knocked them out over and over again. My once worthy opponents reduced to nothing more than a way to farm EXP. I landed a dragon punch on the last remaining worm. It all took less than 5 minutes. I had a constant stream of messages from the divine voice informing me of the XP increases and level ups. Every time the number climbed higher, I felt more powerful. Now I'm thinking about an egg with my jacket overloaded. Add it to the list. To the list, to the list. I can always, the next time Darklight streams, I can redeem that. Egg with Overload's jacket. No doing for Tunberry Clover? I forgot about that one. Clover in the Final Fantasy universe as a Tonberry. Would I be a normal Tonberry, or would I be the Tonberry Knight? Or the Tonberry King? King? Ah, it's sweet of you to say that. I think I'd be a pretty normal Tonberry. Ooh, Undercover King. I look normal, and then when you're not looking at extra damage. Turns out, baby dragons are pretty strong. It was a totally different experience from being an egg. I mean, what kind of weird caterpillar could beat a dragon? Gained 12 experience points. Title skill, Walking Egg activated. Gained 12 experience points. I still feel like this egg thing is some kind of glitch. It must be why I keep leveling up so fast. My next evolution is at 25 and I'm gonna get there in no time. Baby Dragon level 7 has become level 15. Title skill, Infighter, level 1 has become level 2. Not bad, not bad. Unfortunately, my health didn't appear to recover when I evolved or leveled up. My dwindling HP and MP were definitely a concern. I should probably rest up and give myself some time to recover. My agility didn't seem to be leveling up as quickly as my other stats, but it stood to reason that this body type wasn't made for speed. But one thing was clear, becoming the strongest wasn't out of reach after all. Fun fact, there's a quest in 14 where you get when you see a wave of Tonberries stab the boss and your MC looks scared. This is the same person who I've seen many war times. Not fished, but a wave of Tonberries is scary. I've seen many war crimes and not flinch, but a wave of Tonberries scare. Tonberries should. Baby Dragon, status normal. Level 15 of 25, HP 3 of 57, MP 1 of 55, Attack 51, Defense 35, Magic 48, Agility 35. That's a nice jump on the skills. And it is like Overlord. Attack over defense. And we are finally on chapter 2. Now, so far, each chapter has been divided into parts. So, if you like it and you want to keep up with it, you can just read like one little part at a time and then come back to it later. Oh yay, they have fantasy words. I'm not going to be able to understand that. Chapter 2, The Girl and the Dragon. Ow! The grey wolf howled as it sent it flying through the air with a dragon punch. It slammed against a tree and slumped to the ground. This creature was, as its name suggested, a grey wolf. It was nearly twice my size and a formidable opponent. The sun had almost set, so I decided this would be my last conquest for the day. Conquest. Gained a 24 experience point. Title skill Walking Egg level activated. gained 24 experience points. After defeating that big group of darkworms, I was able to attack other monsters much more aggressively, but my level wasn't really going up that much. Possibly it was due to only choosing battles I was sure I could win. I was always sure to check the monster's stats before engaging. That got me a title skill called Safety First, level 1. I was pretty sure Divine Voice was trying to call me a wuss. My loneliness, resistance, and view status had also gone up. It made sense since all I'd been doing was going around checking out statuses, and I was alone all the damn time. The loneliness resistance didn't really seem good for much though, since I still felt pretty lonely. Feel free to talk to me more, Divine Voice. 3 days had passed, but I was still only level 15. I needed 5 more additional levels before I could evolve again at level 20. I spent a lot of time searching out and defeating lower level Grey Wolves. I could take out up to about a level 6 with no problem. The one I just defeated was a level 6 Grey Wolf who had strayed from his pack. Maybe I should explore more? The only way to level up was to gain more experience after all. I wouldn't get very far if I kept hunting with safety first. New experiences and tougher battles had to be the key to growth. That was true back in Japan, so I was sure things wouldn't be all that different here. But what exactly was my goal? I was surviving just fine, but occasionally, Divine Voice would pop into my head and start pressuring me with the same line over and over. Grow stronger. Grow stronger, grow stronger. I knew I shouldn't put a blind faith in it at this point, to the point of endangering myself. But it was definitely egging me on. Even though I wasn't an egg anymore. I used Baby's breath to roast the Grey Wolf. It was a bit gamey, but still exponentially better than Giant Caterpillar. I just wished I had some salt and pepper. Okay, so fantasy language, when it pops up, this book gets a thumbs up. Fantasy language, when it pops up, I'm just gonna go meow 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 meow. Because it might be based on a real language. I have no idea. If it is, I cannot read it, and I'm not about to try to pronounce it. I was tearing into my dinner when I suddenly heard voices. I didn't recognize the language, but the voices were definitely human. Meow meow? Meow meow meow. Meow 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 meow. I strained to hear as I ate. There were 3 distinct voices, 2 men, one young and one old, and a young girl. The younger man sounded casual, while the old man's voice carried a hint of sternness. The girl sounded frightened. Whoa, there are other people here. All the loneliness and resistance in the world couldn't make up for spending so long only interacting with monsters. I couldn't express how much I'd been craving human contact. Their words were strange to me, but I could make it work. Half of communication was nonverbal, right? I wolfed down the rest of my dinner, eager to finish and find the humans. I swallowed my last mouthful, tossed the bones aside, and rushed off in the direction of the voices. I caught glimpses of a large, intimidating-built man through the trees. The other 2 must be nearby. Is the MC gonna forget he's a dragon? Probably. Roar! I tried to call out to them, but the only thing that came out of my mouth was the dragon's roar. Ah, damn it. I tried to wave my hands reassuringly. I was probably going to level up just an idiot any time now. The man looked over at me and froze. Then he grinned. The other 2 humans stepped into view, both of them focused on me as well. A big tough guy, an old man, and a girl. Just as their voices suggested. The clothes were strange. Armor and robes. Like I just stepped out of a fantasy story. So you've got the knight, the mage, and I think the priestess. Well, I probably shouldn't be surprised considering the monsters and everything. But this whole world like that? I could deal with it later. At first, I had to win their hearts with my charming growls. Are they going to try to eat it? They did say that the baby dragons, and the reason he didn't initially want to take baby dragon was because they're tasty. Baby dragon. Its tender flesh is exceedingly delicious, especially with sauce. The big guy, who had to be the leader, was looking at me with such a pleased grin on his face. And he continued grinning the whole time as he drew his sword and brandished it at me. He wasn't anywhere near me, and at first I thought the white streaks bursting out of his sword were some kind of optical illusion. But they slashed through the trees and streaked toward me, their wake rustling the grass. I didn't have time to dodge. Both my arms were up, leaving my abdomen completely vulnerable. The white slashes hit me in the gut, leaving angry red marks behind. Roar! How that really hurt. Way worse than the Grey Wolf. I belatedly checked the guy's stats. Does Dogelmod. Species, Earth human. Does that mean there's other types of humans? Level 14 of 45. HP 38 of 42. MP 11 of 15. Attack 40 plus 12. Defense 28 plus 6. Magic 17, Agility 22. Equipment Longsword D+. Armor Golden copper armor rank D. Special skills Grecian language level 6. Swordsman level 2. I wonder then if I looked up like... That sounds like a real world language then. Might be able to look it up. Resistance. Soul contamination resistance level 3. That is concerning. Normal skill. Shockwave level 2. Flame slash level 1. Intimidation level 3. Title skills. Novice warrior level 4. Okay, so that just now must have been his shockwave skill. His name was Dawes, and his species was Earth human. So, just a human who lives on Earth? And he thought I was his enemy? I needed to prove to him that I wasn't a threat. I flapped my arms and made my best friendly face. Rawr, rawr, rawr. Dawes smiled again and before unleashing a second shockwave. Well, okay, buddy. He was determined to fight. I should probably run. My level was higher, but I couldn't take on all of them at once. Shockwave was fast. I guarded myself with my arms. It was better than taking it in the stomach, but it still stung. A few more of those blows and I wouldn't even be able to use my hands. Meow meow meow, meow 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 meow. The old man lifted his staff toward me. They weren't stopping. I was just another enemy to them. Light spewed forth from the tip of his staff, illuminating our surroundings. It was so bright I had to squint. Intense heat flared over my skin. What the heck, was that magic? I'd had a passing thought that he looked like a magician with the robes and the staff, but I wasn't expecting actual spells. Why not? You are a dragon. You fight monsters. You just got attacked by a swordsman. Why would you not believe in the magic? Grrr! I roared, writhing in pain. Gain resistance skill. Magic resistance level 1. Flight wasn't an option. I didn't even have time to think before the onslaught began again. If only I'd been a little quicker on my feet. I was a dragon. It was ridiculous to try to approach a human. My loneliness had clouded my judgment. I wasn't a person anymore. I was a monster. Consider that lesson very painfully learned. My body felt heavy and numb. I checked my stats. My condition had changed from normal to paralyzed. That's it. They're gonna kill me. 2 steps of footsteps approached cautiously, while a third scampered out along it out of time. Meow meow, meow 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 meow. It was the girl. I stretched my aching neck up to find her standing between me and her companions. Yes, cut off your humanity and end them. Feast upon the human flesh. I couldn't understand her, but tears glistened in her eyes. It sounded like she was pleading. The old man scratched his head awkwardly. Those looked from the girl to the old man and then to me. He clicked his tongue in aggravation, then sheathed his sword. Wait, did she just save me? The girl turned, came closer to me, and petted my head. Meow meow meow. She said something and suddenly it was bathed in gentle light. The numbness and pain that had seized my body began to ease. She peered at my face and smiled, relieved. Meow, she said. I didn't know this word's language, but I thought I understood what she was trying to say. She was worried about me. She wanted to know if I was all right. Now bite her face off? Overlord! For the levels? No, Overlord. He needs to wait until they're all asleep, and then he rips out their throats while they're asleep. And then he can eat them. Because, you know, sword, magic, paralysis. She wanted to know if I was all right. I'd been so lonely that those words touched me, sending tears streaming down my face. I cried, trying to tell her thank you. I thought she must have understood me, because she patted my head again. Her hand was so soft. The first touch I felt in this new life of mine was warm and comforting. Dawes yelled something at the girl, and she snapped back. He frowned in irritation and began to say something else, but the old man stopped them. Dawes clicked his tongue again before he and the old man turned and headed back into the forest. The girl stayed. Maybe she was worried my paralysis hadn't completely worn off yet. But those two guys were her friends. Shouldn't she go with them? Miria Melania. Species Earth Human. Status normal. Level 6 of 70. Oh wow. Her potential level is almost double the other guys. Reminder, keep an eye open around Clover. Meow? Don't you want to join the meadows forever? Become one with the fish pond. Nope. Level HP 18 of 20, MP 4 of 20, Attack 12 plus 5, Defense 14 plus 2, Magic 25, Agility 17. Equipment, Weathered Staff, F+. Armor, Village Girl Dress, F-. I have too many level 1 runs in Code Vein 2 to do. Okay, are you going to start the game with the level 1 run, or are you going to learn the mechanics first? Special skills, Grecian level 5, Mage level 2. She was a mage and not a priestess? Resistance skills, Rest level 2, Fireball level 1. No resistance skills. Levels, normal skills, Rest level 2, Fireball level 1. Rest is a skill. Learn first and beat it about 3 times and then get silly. Are you hoping that it has more endings than Code Vein 1 did? Title skills, Novice White Mage, level 2. Okay, so White Mage. That makes sense. The girl who saved me was named Emiria. She was probably in her early 20s, but her face, short stature, and messy hair made her look much younger. Because of course it does. She pulled my head into her lap and stroked my cheeks. I wanted to make sure she didn't get scared and run away, so I stretched out my arms and legs to show how harmless I was, and let myself rest. To be honest, the numbness was mostly past, but I held still and even put on a decent tremble. I was afraid that Miria decided I was well enough she would leave. I wanted to stay like this for just a bit longer. Honestly, I don't know. I need to learn more about the plot to think about that. Give us 30 different endings. We'll probably get at least 3 since the original had 3. Miria peered down at me and asked again if I was alright. Then she said something that could have been, "I'm sorry." I didn't understand the words, of course, but I could make a pretty good guess based on her expression and her voice. Gained special skill, Grecian level 1. Oh? Maybe I'll be able to understand her more after a while then. Like, is this a sad standalone or counter to the first, and if how? Content. Standalone or content to the first. Okay. Watch it be an alternate universe or a prequel. Connected, I can't spell. Like, why were the people they were killing in the thing had gold blood? Why did it look like he had a gold scar on his face? Like, is that blood that congealed? Or was it like the Kintsugi where he got injured and they just repaired the injury with gold? Gained a title skill, Liar level 1. Wow, laying it on pretty thick, aren't you? You've got a terrible personality, Divine Voice. Who the heck do you think you are? It is the Divine Voice. Still, was it just me or was it getting way too many title skills way too easily? And why did he have white thorns? Like the queen? I will have to remember because I don't remember seeing the thorns. But that could be stuff that he gains along the way. It might not be like a native skill he has initially. We don't know where in his, the game's storyline that cutscene was from. You see her use it after the flashback boss fight. Yeah, the queen using it, yes, but I meant the MC of the next game. Dawes and Miria didn't have many title skills at all. They had lived much longer than I had. So where were all the skills coming from? They were all pretty insulting too. Most likely it had something to do with Divine Voice, but I had no way of knowing. Miria's max level was incredibly high. Dawes' max level was 45, but hers was 70. I didn't know how humans could evolve, so their potential must have a limit. I bet one day Miria's gonna be way stronger than that jerk swordsman. I relaxed against her as I pondered. Suddenly I heard screams in the distance. I immediately recognized the voice of Dawes and the old man. Miria froze, looking in the direction of the noise. Gently, she helped me to stand and lean against a tree trunk. Dawes and Miria's stats were very different. Miria had the potential to one day outstrip him, but as of right now, he was far more powerful. So if someone like Dawes was screaming, no way should Miria charge in blindly. She has heal skills, I think. Did she? I'll go double check. She had Rust and Fireball. So I'm thinking Rust must have been the skill she used on him. I was hanging on by a thread, so I wouldn't be much help either. I wondered if the Rust skill she'd used on me was some kind of recovery magic. Her MB was low. I doubted she could cast it again. She used the last of her power to heal me. If Miria ran off to help Dawes and the old guy, she'd be defenseless. Her fighting ability was low, and she was too drained to use her recovery magic. And she must know that. Rawr, I said. Meow, she replied with a sad smile. Then she waved her little hand at me, her expression tense, and ran off towards the voices. Rawr! I wanted to stop her, but when I tried to move, I just fell over. I guess I was still a little paralyzed. I'd assumed that the absence of pain meant I was fully recovered, but apparently not. So he wasn't actually lying when he was playing it up. He may have been acting, but he was still recovering. Rawr! Rawr! I yelled after Miria. She slowed and turned back to me, her eyes narrowed with concern. But she just dipped her head and started running again. Wait! I wish I could yell. There's nothing you can do now. Grrrr! A noise echoed from deep in the forest, so loud that it shook the ground beneath me. So if the old guy is dead, might as well eat the body. Nom nom nom. You get that calcium, get that protein. It came from the same direction as Dawes and the others' shouts. Although far louder and much more menacing, it reminded me of the noises I made when I tried to speak. I knew instinctively that the source of that voice was on an entirely different level from the dark worms and grey wolves. I couldn't let Miria go off and face it by herself. When I tried to lift my legs, the numbness was still there. None of my limbs moved how I wanted them to. And despite the recovery magic Miria had cast on me, my HP was still half depleted. That added to paralysis meant I'd just end up as Monster Child if I went after her. Nevertheless, I had to do something. I stood up on my trembling legs, the pins and needles gradually wearing off with each uneasy step I took. I could do this. I would have my mobility back by the time I got there. I took my time, working my way slowly toward the source of the disturbance. Now that the paralysis was pretty much gone, I took another look at my status. Status paralyzed, slight. Level 20 of 25. Why did you gain 5 hit points, 5 levels out of nowhere? Because earlier in the chapter, it said he was level 15 and could evolve at level 20. Looking at his stats now, he is level 20 of 25. Can he still evolve at 20, or did the author or whoever made the panels make a mistake? HP 38 of 72, MP 59 of 68, Attack 61, Defense 46, Magic 58, Agility 42. Okay. I'm going to go back, look at his level 15 stats. Okay, so the HP and MP are higher. The stats have increased, okay. So where did he get those 5 levels? Because he didn't... Did he get XP for just defending himself against the warriors without actually defeating an enemy? Maybe? Maybe one of those people died and he got like partial credit. Yep, half my HP was gone, and surely my enemy stats would be far stronger than mine. But maybe if Miria, her friends, and I worked together, maybe we could scare it off? Part 3. But by the time I got there, the fight was over. Roar! The dragon let out a triumphant roar. It was gigantic, much bigger than the humans or little old me. Probably over 5 meters tall, with a long neck. Its body was rough and covered in lumpy, hardened spots that reminded me of rocks. The dragon was the sort of monster that would send me running if I saw it from afar. Just the sound of its footsteps told me it was way out of my league. The 3 humans, including Miria, were on the ground by its giant feet. They were all bleeding. I forced my focus off Miria and back to the rocky dragon. I had to check its status. Then, maybe I could figure out a way to deal with it. Species, little rock dragon. Bigger than the humans, and it's little. Status, paralyzed slight. Levels 14 of 55. HP 197 of 212. MP 45 of 87. Attack 168. Defense 224. Magic 82. Agility 46. Rank C. Special skills, Dragon Scale level 3. Breath Boost level 1. Automatic HP recovery level 1. Earth type? Exists. Resistance skills. Fire resistance level 5. Bad matchup for our little baby dragon. Physical resistance level 3. Magic level 2. Normal skills. Sand Breath level 4. Bite level 3. Sand Claws level 3. Regenerate level 2. So it has automatic HP and it regenerates. What does it do? Eat a rock and heal? Is it from Fairy Tale? Tremor level 4. Stone Breath level 6. Dragon Tail level 2. Final evolution. Before, I hadn't been able to get a clear look at the enemy's stats from a distance. Maybe it was because my view status skill had been too low. But now I could see the dragon's stat clearly. It was 5 times bigger than me, and the stats were triple mine. Just making eye contact sent off a wave of fear washing over me. I was trembling. I couldn't believe I actually thought the 4 of us could beat this thing. Blood streaked the dragon's rugged body, but I doubted it was its own. I couldn't see any injuries. Its defenses was probably too high for an attack to hit. At all. So this was a little rock dragon, huh? I couldn't even imagine what a fully grown rock dragon must look like. Roar! It roared with incredibly deep and low, with enough resonance to make the entire forest tremble. Silence hung heavily, threaded with panicked tension. Even the insects must have all fled when they heard those fierce roars. I wish I could do the same. Run. You must. Run. Run. It's no use. Hello, Pudding. How you doing today? Hope you're all having a wonderful day today. And And Overlord got the shutter already? Okie dokie. The divine voice flickered in and out of my mind. My brain felt like it was vibrating. It was nauseating. Long time see, missing your streams, and thanks for the shout out as always. I see a comfy stream. Hey, Overlord. Yep, today is just reading stream. We started out with some Reddit stories that somehow mostly ended up being wedding themed. And now we're reading Reincarnated as a Dragon Hatchling. There was nothing I could do. I had absolutely no skills that could defeat this thing. The best attack I had was Dragon Punch, but it wouldn't work against its dragon stats. I didn't even have to try to know that. A cruel hopelessness opened up inside me. The numbers didn't lie. There was no way I could win. In my estimation, I'd have to land 30 Dragon Punches with perfect accuracy, right on the dragon's head, to even have a chance to defeat it. That was how different our stats were. And that was assuming that each punch was full power, and that the dragon didn't use its regeneration skill. Most likely, I couldn't even reach its head. It was so much bigger than me. And I didn't have the MP necessary to use 30 Dragon Punches anyway. The chances of me winning were flat out 0. To make matters worse, my only allies were currently passed out cold. I checked their statuses, so I knew they weren't dead, but all of their conditions showed unconscious and bleeding. Miria, who had protected me and smiled at me so kindly, was bleeding out on the ground with her eyes closed. But the little dragon was slow. Maybe I could charge in, land a single punch, and then drag the 3 humans away. I could save them. That was my only hope. It was the signature move I developed when I was still an egg. My one and only tactic that combined my speed with my attack power and helped me kill my first Darkworm. I charged in, kicking off the ground. I still had the roll ability. I pulled in my arms and legs to form a little ball as I spun, channeling my old egg form. Seeing me approach, the little rock dragon raised his craggy tail in readiness to thwart my attack. The rough, jagged whip sprung in, preparing to crush me with mass alone. I zigzagged from right to left, magnificently evading its tail. Magnificent! The earth split behind me, making an awful sound, but I ignored it. I had to. Right now, all my focus had to be on the little rock dragon's movement. It lifted its massive front leg, intending to crush me. I dodged out of the way. The tail swished towards me. I dodged it. Again and again, I just kept dodging. I focused all of my energy into evasion as I searched for a weak spot. Hopefully, this is like upping his agility. Here comes the bite attack! I'd seen it on the status screen. I knew I'd try to use it eventually. I was waiting for this moment when it stretched its neck out close to me. I jumped up as high as I could, evading the attack by a paper-thin margin. Gained a new title skill, King of Evasion, level 1. Now! I tackled its stony face with all my strength. It threw me off, the force of it almost knocking me out of roll. I somehow managed to keep moving, scrambling away from his head. Please, it has to work. Come on and chase me. Come after me. The malice wafting off of it was overwhelming. Suddenly the ground began to rumble, or at least, that's what it felt like to me. The landscape trembled and shook, kicking dust up into the air. A tree right in front of me broke off its roots and fell toward me. It hit me hard, breaking my roll skill and slamming me to the ground. Bonk. What was that? My head swam, but I forced myself to think through it. It had to be the dragon's tremor skill. The little rock dragon had used its gigantic body to stomp on the earth and make it shake. If I was in this state, there was no way the other 3 were safe. They were much closer to the dragon than I was. My only comfort was that since the tremor had to have such a wide area of effect, its power might have been dispersed enough not to do too much damage. The little rock dragon began its slow walk to where I lay crumbled on the ground. Come on. Come on! I tried to get up. God, my body felt heavy. The dragon's guard was down. This was my chance. I'd laid still for now and pretend I couldn't move. The little rock dragon came up beside me, big mouth open right in my face. Then I sprang up and blasted a dragon punch with all my might, hitting it right in the teeth. His fangs scraped my fist, and I felt the skin break, but I landed the punch nonetheless. The inside of its mouth was vulnerable, one of the few places it didn't have the rocky hide. Rawr! What a hello, Ducklight. How you doing today? I retreated as the little rock dragon let out a fearsome roar, its neck swinging around wildly in pain. I did that. That must have hurt, but it definitely wasn't a victory. I couldn't hope for a victory. My attack hadn't knocked much hit point off at all. I ran for the nearest human, the old man. I checked his status. His hit point was at 0. The book is cute. You will love this? Yes. It also gave us ideas for Overlord art. Not great, but I needed to check on the others too. I just woke up from a nap, got an hour, and I feel worse than before. Maybe you needed a longer nap. And some Motrin and some water, and any meds that you take, and some food. Baby Dragon book? We love the Baby Dragon books. Have you read them before? This is the first of the series that I've acquired. I've had it for a while and just never got around to reading it. And yes, I bought it entirely because it was Baby Dragon. I think the cough suppressant's wearing off. Eh. I found Dawes next. The little rock dragon's claws had gotten him. His armor was ripped apart across his chest, the wounds oozing blood. His legs were pinned by a branch that must have fallen during the tremor attack. Not this one, but I have a recommendation for other Baby Dragon story. Alright. Feel free to DM it to us, or drop it in the Discord. I tried to shift the branch, but it was too heavy for me to lift by myself. A hiss like steam behind me made me turn around. Smoke billowed from the rock dragon's mouth. Instinctively, I knew that it was using its regeneration skill, already undoing the little damage I'd risked my life to inflict. This was ridiculous. The dragon was way too strong. I used roll to speeds toward Mira, who was still unconscious some distance away. I had some trouble finding her. The tremor attack had left the ground uneven, and she'd slipped partially into a depression in the dirt. As gently as I could, I took her neck in my jaws and pulled her out. She was slightly bigger than me. Slightly? I saw the picture of you both. She's much bigger than you. But I managed to sling her over my back. Then I ran as fast as I could. I ran and ran, the forest flashing by around me. I heard a crushing sound from behind that did not bode well for the other two humans. But I didn't turn around. He should have taken a bite of one of them before he left. Chomp, chomp, chomp. I ran through the forest with Mira on my back. The little rock dragon didn't follow us, but the grave wolves must have been drawn in with the scent of her blood. They had us in their sights. A group of at least 3. I could win if I took them head on, but I wasn't sure I could protect Mira at the same time. The grave wolves weren't showing themselves, but I could hear them faintly. They seemed to be biding their time. I hoped they were considering withdrawing at the sight of my stats, but it was also possible they were waiting for reinforcements, or trailing me in separate groups. Grey wolves were very skilled at sniffing out others of their kind to form hunting packs. According to the Divine Voice, it was a common strategy. Well, if they weren't going to attack until later, that was a problem for later. I just perceived like they planned to leave us alone. I didn't really have a choice. I couldn't take them all on my own, and Mira's HP was dwindling by the minute. At first I thought it was just my imagination, brought on by worry and my anxious constant checking of her stats. But I was right. Her HP was draining constantly. It had to be a status condition. Bleeding. And at this rate, she wouldn't last 5 more minutes. I thought I'd gone strong hunting those low-rank monsters, but in the grand scheme of things, I was weak. Worthless. After all those days of loneliness, I'd finally started to make a friend, but I couldn't even protect her. Roar! The baby dragon's roar. Maybe it wasn't the sort of sound to strike fear into the hearts of all the local monsters, like the little dragon's roar. Maybe it would just call my enemies closer, seeking easy prey. but I couldn't help myself. I had to roar. It was the only way to ease all the terrible, pent-up feelings that were swirling inside of me. I wanted to be stronger. I wanted to be able to crush that ugly rock dragon like it was a lowly worm. The more I ran, the more Miri's warm blood I felt running down my body, her life draining away with it. Roar! I roared again, a reckless call for help. But the only response I received was the fierce cries of monsters stronger than me, and the echo of my own pathetic little voice. Gained a title skill, Protective Spirit level 1. Wow, Divine Voice, how thoughtful. Not like I can actually do anything with that. Hold on. Title skills must have some kind of effect. Walking Egg kept giving me experience points, so it's called a skill, so it must have an ability attached. So maybe I could do something with it. Hey, Divine Voice, are you listening to me? Special skill Divine Voice level 2, unable to provide that explanation. Come on, don't mess around. Someone's life is on the line. Special skill Divine Voice 2 is unable to provide that explanation. You've got to be kidding me. You're the one who kept forcing those messages into my head saying get stronger and run? Listen, I don't know who you are, but I've got a feeling you're not as neutral as you pretend to be. You've been watching and ridiculing me the whole time. So suck it up and answer me. There's no time left. Special skill Divine Voice level 2 is unable to provide an explanation. The same answer over and over, again. That feeling of throwing a ball against a wall returned, repetitive and futile. Every word mysterious and inscrutable. The Divine Voice was useless. So what should I do? How could I save Miria? I racked my brain, poring over every detail of the system and controlling me. I had an idea. When I pushed hard to understand what the humans were saying, I gained a skill called Grecian language. I had that skill now, but I hadn't made any progress with it beyond that. I couldn't use the language. I'd been thinking about the system all wrong. Every time a new skill appeared, I wasn't gaining a new ability I could use. Instead, the skills reflected things I could already do. The world wasn't bound to the numbers. My status screen or whatever didn't create reality or make things happen. It just read the state of the world and put it in a numerical form. I was sure there were still elements I didn't understand. This was only a theory, after all, but it made a whole lot more sense than the alternative. In other words, skills didn't just miraculously appear out of nowhere. Instead, skills were expressions of physical feats and capabilities. So if I practiced and worked on it, I should be able to use recovery magic. I could even do it now, however crude and low level. I lowered Miria off my back and lay her gently on the ground. I thought back to when she used magic on me. The light, the warmth, the sensation. According to her status screen, her recovery magic was called Rest. I focused on the word rest in my mind, trying to visualize the effects of the spell, and shouted it in my head. Rest, rest. It's not working. Nothing's happening. Rest, 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 rest. Something was happening. Rest, 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 rest. A sudden intense fatigue swept through my brain. Fatigue? Just from thinking about something? If my MP was draining, did that mean the magic was working? Rest, 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 rest. I am not counting that out a dozen times. Maybe I did more, maybe I did less. After repeating it a dozen times, a light appeared, healing Miri's wounds. Just the slightest bit. I did it! I kept repeating rest as long as my stamina held out. I started panting, and I could feel my limit approaching. Checking my status, I saw that my MP had dropped to 0. I checked Miri's. Her HP was just a little higher than it had been. That's it? I used up all my MP and that's all it did? Well, at least the negative status effect of bleeding disappeared. She should survive now. I'm grinding on Genshin and enjoy collecting flowers and enjoying it when... What have you done to me, Dark Light and Clover? Collect all the shiny sparkle things. I don't care about the title skills, just give me rest ability. My spell only had about a fifth of the power that Miria's did, but at least she wouldn't bleed to death now. Still, Miria's low HP made me nervous. I needed to take her somewhere safe. My only choice was to leave the forest and search for the humans' village. That sounds like you're gonna make yourself dinner! When Miria and the others had found me, their HP and MP were fine. They hadn't seemed tired. That must mean their village was nearby. I searched for signs of where they'd come from as best I could, and ran as fast as my legs could move in that direction. Yeah, these flowers are good for, the sweet flowers. I think you can use at the cooking station to turn into sugar to cook recipes that then you can use as buffs. Or healing. Collect everything all the time. The two grave wolves were following me. They'd finally shown themselves, clearly choosing a fight over retreat. They must have spent a while observing me and decided they stood a good chance. They closed in and then retreated over and over again, staying just out of range. I mean, I'm assuming when you have no MP, you can't use your fire attack on them anymore. One was level 7, the other level 8. I could take the two of them with no problem, even with Miri on my back. If any others came in to join the fun, though... I knew it. These two were just decoys. The pack had purposely sent the two smallest wolves to draw my attention. They would wait for me to take the bait, and as soon as I slowed my pace to attack, the three hiding nearby would charge. The Grey Wolf's standard tactic. Normally, I could take on 5 of them easily. I was totally confident I could destroy the entire pack of Grey Wolves. But I had Miria on my back. My only choice was to run. Ah! Stop following me, you stupid stalker wolves! I sped up, hoping to shake them, but they were stubborn. I didn't have much stamina left. Not after a high-level dragon handed me my ass and I taught myself recovery magic by brute force, using it until my MP was completely drained. I sighed. Normally, losing them would be easy, but I pushed that thought out of my mind. I wasn't going to accomplish anything by whining about it. Are you sure? You've gotten skills for less. The wolves began to howl. They must have realized I wasn't taking the bait, or maybe they noticed my injured state. They gave up on their ambush and sprinted towards me all together, the leader in front. There were 5 of them, just as I suspected. The vanguards were level 7 and 8. I could defeat them with little to no damage. The 2 flanking the head wolf were level 10 and 11. In peak condition, I could take them down easily. Even now, they probably couldn't beat me, but they'd wear me down enough that the other monsters could take advantage and pick me off. The final wolf was the real problem. It was level 15. I'd never seen such a high-level grey wolf before. Even if my stats were at full power, I would have made a tactical retreat before fighting it. Near the point of collapse, I knew I was in trouble. This was not a fight I wanted to have. Just leave me alone! I ran as fast as I could, but they were closing in. The head wolf could really move. Its agility was on par with mine, and it had a title skill called Forest Hunter. It was probably a big shot in the wolf world. Okay, but if the title skill is Forest Hunter, then if you manage to get out of the forest, its stat boost should go down. Fortunately, there was quite a gap between it and the smaller wolves. It was a risk, but if I could get the head wolf alone, I thought I might be able to take it on while still protecting Miria. If I just picked off the little ones, the leader would fly into a rage, but if I got rid of the leader, the others would run away. If I couldn't outrun them, then that would have to be my strategy. I wanted to give myself an edge with my breath attack, but it didn't have any MP. It would have to be hand-to-hand combat. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't worried about protecting Miria. I couldn't outrun their wolves, so putting off a fight now would only delay the inevitable. I needed to attack. The little rock dragon had let me off comparatively easy, but I was pretty confident in saying I hadn't yet been in a situation this dire. I sped up, trying to build up some distance between the leader of the pack and the other wolves. I needed it alone to have half a chance. I held out hope that I could still lose them, but no luck. Fine, I expected that. Slowing abruptly, I leapt up onto a nearby tree branch, digging in my claws to redirect my momentum. There was the pack leader, temporarily bewildered by my sudden leap into the trees. I used that split second of confusion to my advantage, jumping from the branch and right onto the wolf's head. Growl! I bit into the back of its vulnerable neck with as much force as I could muster. The other wolves ran up. I snarled and pushed the leader away, maneuvering myself into a turn without losing momentum. And then I started running again. Everything went according to plan, save for one little detail. Grrr! The head wolf wasn't dead. If I'd stuck around to finish the job, I would have been wide open to the little wolf's counterattack. I missed my shot. My exhaustion must have weakened my attack. God, I hadn't even knocked it unconscious. It was awake and spinning with rage, springing to its feet and glaring at me with crimson eyes. The little wolf circled their leader worriedly. It had just knocked them away and came at me even faster than before. Its claws tore at the ground as it completely ignored its draining stamina and charged me, faster and faster. It still had more than a fourth of its HP left, and the status condition, Fury. Ooh, that's good though. If it's furious, it's not going to think, and then you can lead it into a trap. I sprinted to put distance between us, but it kept up easily. What should I do? Should I attack again? Up until now, I had the advantage of pretending to run away. If I turned to fight, there was no guarantee that I could get the first strike. Plus, the wolf was in fury mode, making its movements erratic and unpredictable. Even one hit would be bad, for me and for Miria. Also, did he jump into the trees, do the jump attack with Miria, still on his back? How was he holding her on his back? Neither of us had HP to spare. I only had enough MP for baby's breath, but there was no sense in belly aching. I was worse off than I was when the fight started, but I still had to do something. One more attack, come on. One more, and I was sure I could kill it. I shot a quick glance behind me at the head wolf. Then I returned my focus forward, trying to map out the lay of the land and running the simulation. Judging by the terrain, the position of the trees, yeah, I could do it again. The same trick, I could defeat the wolf. I leapt into the tree using my hind legs to maneuver in the air. The Miria's weight on my back messed with my center of gravity and I lost my balance, pitching backwards. Not good, not good. Gow! The wolf came at me with an angled claw attack, digging into my chest and tearing all the way down towards my belly. I almost dropped Miria, but I shook my hips and hitched her back into position. Another attack came, punishment for taking my attention off the enemy. The wolf brandished its other claw. Grrr! I thrust my shoulder forward to take the brunt, but the gash was deep. The second fastest wolf caught up to us, flanking me from behind. It charged, attacking from my blind spot. Luckily, it missed Miria, but it didn't miss my stomach, which took some severe damage. I couldn't waste any more time, and now it was impossible for me to fight with Miria on my back. I threw her off onto the ground. The impact would be rough on her in the state she was in, but I needed the freedom of movement, and hopefully it would maybe wake her up. Now that I was lighter, I evaded the attacks that came at me from the front, punching the pack leader in the nose as hard as I could. He slammed to the ground, skidding over the forest floor and collapsing. I checked to make sure his HP was 0. Yep, down for good. Gained 60 experience points. The title skill, Walking Egg level, is activated. Gained 60 experience points. Baby Dragon level 20 has become level 22. Ha! That was rough. Why couldn't my HP fully recover when I leveled up? Like a video game. This world sucked. I wanted to give Divine Voice the finger, but I couldn't lift my arm. Go! One of the smaller wolves pounced on me from behind and bit into my shoulder. I shook it off and kicked it away, picking Miria up and putting her back on my back again. Then I took off running. They should have gotten scared and fled after I defeated their leader. But either they could sense how weak I was, or they were underestimating me after getting a good bite in. Whatever the case, they still followed. The world faded in and out. My head hurt. The wounds on my wounds throbbed, and my HP was so low. The bite on my shoulder stung. My legs grew heavier and heavier. If you checked his status, he probably has the bleed effect now. Grrr! The closest wolf swiped its claws toward my back. I twisted to protect Miria from the blow, taking it myself. I couldn't endure this for long. For a split second, it felt like I was on the edge of unconsciousness, and my enemies weren't kind enough to overlook the opening I'd just given them. From behind me came the sound of rending flesh. Strangely, there was no pain. Maybe that's what death felt like, but I could still move. And what was that I felt on my back? I shook my head, trying to think straight, and then I realized what had happened. It wasn't my flesh that split open, it was Miria's. Her hit point was even lower, and she had the negative status effect bleeding again. I'd worked so hard to save her life, and now it was in danger again. My mind went completely blank. I howled. The remaining 4 wolves must have sensed my rage, because they cowered and backed away. Status condition? Fury. Awareness slowly came back to me. My body felt heavy, and I hurt all over. I looked down at myself and my many, many wounds. I didn't want to do anything about them, I just wanted to lie on this cool forest floor and sleep, even if it meant I slept forever. No, I couldn't lose to the pain. I have to figure out what's going on. That's my only hope. What happened to me? And Miria? Where was Miria? I lifted my head and saw a gray wolf, and that was when I knew I had lost. I had hoped that when I got up, the wolves would be gone. Miria would be safe, but that hope was in vain. So you won? Fine, do whatever you want. You can't even instead just hurry and kill me. I don't know what the sound the wolf made in response. I doubted I was even fully conscious. But it didn't kill me. It just rushed into the forest and disappeared, looked like a scared little puppy with its tail between its legs. Huh? There was something strange in my mouth. I'd felt it since I woke up. Was I holding something in my teeth? With a huge effort, I opened my jaws, and the thing that was in my mouth fell onto the ground. It was a gray wolf, covered in blood, its neck broken. I'd crushed it. Gained 44 experience points. Title skill walking egg level activated. Gained 44 experience points. Baby dragon level 22 has become level 23. Oh, I'm getting close to evolving. With considerable effort, I managed to lift my head and look around. The bodies of 2 gray wolves lay beside me. They're dead. Was I the one who killed them? It had to be, considering how fast I leveled up. I must have lost it and run. Completely wild. It sounded nuts, but that was the only explanation. But what about Miria? Where was she? Miria? Miria? Ah. I spotted her lying on the ground and ran to her. She was alive. She was still alive. She was bleeding and her hit point was low, but she was still alive. I had to hurry. I put her on my back and I dragged my beat-up body to its feet. I ran. At last, I made my way out of the forest and across the stretch of land covered in mounds of dirt in neat rows. Crops? Okay, that was not my first thought when I saw neat rows. My first thought was graves. That must mean the human village was nearby. I made it in time. I didn't have time to go around. Guiltily, I ran right through the field, trampling the crops in my way. I thought they might be vegetables, but my vision was so hazy I couldn't be sure. Hopefully I would be forgiven. With every step I took toward the first row of houses, I felt the strangest illusion. I was getting lighter with every step. And finally I made it. I staggered into the village. It was late enough that no one was on the street. Miri wouldn't latch much longer. She needed treatment immediately. She'd die if I spent too much time searching for someone. Am I hurt someone? What's up, Toto? Do we need to steal some kneecaps? Roar! I stood right in the middle of the village and let out a loud roar. Somebody see Miria! Wake up and get out here! Roar! Hurry up or Miria will die! Roar! Somebody, anybody. Please, someone listen to me. I roared over and over again, frantic. Finally, a door creaked open behind me. Thank goodness, Miria is saved! My team? They're all pushing without a care? Are they pushing their work onto you, or are they, like, trying to achieve a goal and not caring about physical limitations? Pushing toward burnout? I was on the verge of death myself. I had to hope that delivering Miria home would gain their trust, or, at the very least, they'd leave me alone and let me rest. Heck, if they liked me enough, I could finally leave forest life behind and live right here in the village. I already had Grecian language level 1. If someone could teach me, I was sure eventually I'd be able to communicate with these. I could go out hunting with the humans. I was strong. I could help out in the fields, and they'd realize how useful I was to have around. I could repay them for trampling the crops. The door opened slowly, cautiously, and a man peered at me through the crack. As soon as we made eye contact, he moves. Meow! A sear of pain ripped through my shoulder. What the heck? I looked down toward the source of pain. An arrow protruded from deep within my flesh. A man emerged from the house, expression fierce, bow at the ready. Idiotically, it took me a moment to realize the truth. He shot me. His jaw was clenched and his legs trembled. That's right. How could I have forgotten? I'm a dragon. How else would a villager react to a dragon carrying a blood-covered human into town? In the middle of the night, of course they'd attack. The man and I stared at each other. Then weakly, he put down his bow and slumped to his knees. Hopelessness tinged his eyes as he sat face to face with a monster. How dare they? How dare they? He's just a little guy. I must have seen what little effect the arrow had, and figured he was a goner. I checked his status. Much like Miria, he had very few skills. I was sure he knew better than anyone that he couldn't beat a monster. I set Miria down on the ground, and then hurried out of the village. I'm sure someone will help her now. This is for the best, I have no choice. I couldn't think about that right now. I had to tend to my own wounds. Title skill Protective Spirit, level 3, has become level 4. Gained a title skill, Itty Bitty Hero, level 1. Aw, Itty Bitty Hero. Interlude. The girl's story. When I woke, I found I was no longer in the forest, but in a soft bed. I was wearing different clothes from before, and for a moment I thought it was all a dream. But no, my arm was bandaged. I suffered that injury when the little rock dragon bit me with this breath attack. You awake? I searched for the source of the voice and saw a pretty orange braid. Mariel stood beside my bed. She was the only proper white mage we had in the village and my mentor. She was quite old, but she looked even younger than I did. I'd been told it was due to her having elven blood, which slowed down the aging process. Mariel fidgeted with her braid and gave me a quick, relieved smile before her mouth tightened and she glared. Her expression was so much like a child's that I sometimes doubted she was really as old as she said she was. Honestly, what were you thinking? How many times have I told you not to let dolls egg you on? Only 2 healers talk about a bad party comp. And this healer stayed in the village and didn't go on adventures. Mariel's scolding reminded me, and I tried to sit up. Ugh, what happened to Dawes and Grants? Mariel poked me in the forehead with her index finger, trying to settle me down. Grants is dead. They found his body in the forest. I can't believe you idiots trying to take on a rock dragon. Grants is... But what about Dawes? They haven't found his body yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if the dragon ate him whole. Chomp chomp gulp gulp. I was the only one who survived. I should have tried to stop them. Everyone in this village knew that the rock dragon was the strongest monster in the forest. A sigh escaped Muriel's lips as she watched me cry. Then she placed a hand on my shoulder. Num num, good rock dragon. Dragon just dragonin'. It's got a belly too, it's hunkies. I'm just glad you survived, Miria. I held my head in my hands and slowly told her everything that happened. Dawes was the most powerful warrior in the village. He could be frightening and quick to anger, but he was the one people relied on to chase off the monsters that stalked the edge of the town. So even if he wasn't liked, he was trusted. Then, a few years back, he set his sights on a rock dragon. He didn't stand a chance. He abandoned his comrades and fled. He lost the fight, and with it, his good standing with the people. His abrasive personality had already made him unpopular, but after his failure, the ill will only grew stronger. Still, his strength and combat contributions to the village were such that few people had the courage to actually speak out against him. Then, just the other day, a traveler had arrived in the village calling himself a swordsman. I am penniless, he'd said, but I have the meat and hides from monsters I've hunted in the forest. I will trade them in exchange for food and a warm bed. Among his spoils was rock dragon meat. We'd figured that meant the stranger had defeated the beast on his own. Whispers spread to the traveler's success until Dawes picked a fight with a man at the local tavern. Dawes boasted to everyone within the earshot, saying, I'm strong enough to defeat it now. He tried to recruit Marielle, who could use recovery magic, and Grants, a drifter, to accompany him on his quest for revenge. Marielle refused, so Dawes set his sights on her apprentice, me. I didn't want to go, but he said, I'm going whether you're coming or not, and if Grants and I go along, we could die. It was as good as blackmail. I could tell that Grants didn't want to go either, but he hid it. He was an outsider, and I imagine it was hard to say no to Dawes, who had influence, even if he wasn't liked. Dawes was adept at using a person's weakness against them. So we set off into the forest and found ourselves a fairly small rock dragon. But we still didn't stand a chance, and now only I was alive. How to let me go? No, that wasn't right. Someone saved me. I remembered faintly. Mariel, who saved me? Saved you? You mean Aris? He saw the monster dragging you through the village and got his bow. No, I mean the person who carried me out of the forest. No one else went into the forest that night, and I doubt a passerby would have brought you all the way into the village and left you without so much as a word. Are you sure you didn't run away on your own? Mariel didn't seem to think it was possible I'd been saved. I mean, it didn't sound possible, but I definitely remembered someone carrying me on their back, frantically running away from a pack of monsters. But really, was it really a person at all? You sure it wasn't a dream? Mariel asked. I'm sure. There's no way I could have got back here all by myself. I think you're still confused, Miria. Just wait a minute and I'll go warm up some chicken soup that I made this morning. Once you have some food in your belly, we can talk. But I'm certain. I tried to focus on the memory of someone carrying me, of them using recovery magic on me. It was weak, barely at a beginner's level, but I remembered how warm it felt. Then the faint memories of my savior's hands, legs, and body came back to me. What if it was that dragon? I murmured to myself as I looked out the window. But of course, the little dragon was nowhere to be found. Okay, and we're finally on chapter 3, page 97. I think that's where I'm going to stop reading. I like the way the chapters are set up. Like, the chapters themselves are kind of long, but they're set into parts. So you can easily... Thanks for the team stream, you did amazing. Thank you for being here. We could always read more Reddit if you wanted. I just think that's a good stopping point for the dragon book. Up to you. I would like to go to 4 hours even. So maybe look around Reddit a little more. Thank you for the stream, Clover. Oval. Happy to have you here. New private window. My apologies for misunderstanding. It's fine, Everlord. It is. I am mentally debating, right? Go on to 4 hours or read Reddit. No, I think maybe your initial reaction is the correct one. I was not expecting, Sorry, I followed the misunderstanding as well. It's fine. No, you're probably right. It's a little harsher on my voice than I expected it to be today. Even with the cough suppressant. Lunch? I'm not actually hungry yet. I had 2 sausage, egg, and cheese griddle sandwiches, so like pancake sandwiches. It's just pretty cool. I like the pancake sandwiches. I just don't buy them very frequently. Fair, that's a big brekkie. It is. The following page is small enough I can see just without having to show more. But I'm like, who do we want to go to? Do we want to bother the dragon? Do we want to go bother JC? I think in lieu of no one else from the Bean Squad being on, I'll just continue bothering Nova. May they eventually get their partner. So even though it is slightly shorter than I wanted it to be, thank you for coming to hang out with the reading. Hopefully everyone liked the book. I am unsure if I will keep up with it or not. I might, but it is just one of a long series, so I might have to see about picking up ebooks. It was amazing in my opinion. Thank you for the stream, Clover. Thank you for coming to say hello. Take care and have a wonderful lunch. I want everyone else to stretch, hydrate, have food. If you need rest, get your rest. Tomorrow we're back with Genshin, so I'll hold tight.